Welcome to Conscious Reconstruction. I am the host with the most, and I am terrified that y'all might not get an episode this week because
y'all
terrified.
Real fugazi right now.
Yeah,
it's really upsetting, and I have no idea the reason why. And it's random too, because Monday everything was fine.
Yeah, we'll talk, and then it'll just decide to pause and not record us, and then all the channels are picking up something. So we don't know what's going on right now. But hey,
like all the channels are receiving input, but I can go into a real technical explanation of it, but I don't know how to even troubleshoot it.
Yeah, so we're dealing with that. But hey, welcome. We're gonna give you what we got, and I'm here with AKA the most host, Just Charles 009, and we got Zero Cool in the building, AKA Ash. How y'all doing? How was y'all weekend? How was y'all week?
Just fine, just dandy.
Pretty chill. Beginning of March, we've officially been dealing with COVID for a year.
Happy Women's Month.
Thanks. What you doing for me? Look at him, fucking slacks. They ain't doing shit.
She didn't even know it was Women's Month until I said
what
something.
are you? I keep up with these things.
No, you didn't. You
yes,
didn't
I did.
One thing about it.
Good, y'all wasn't unprepared.
I'm the one who brought it up.
It was coming.
I mean, you got a whole month.
A whole month.
Yeah,
so y'all need to figure it out.
Why does it need to come at the beginning?
It need to happen now because it's my month.
It's gonna be a surprise
right now.
Well, it's not just your month.
Yes, it is.
It's all women.
Fuck them. I mean, what you got going on?
Fuck them.
This is Ash's month.
Well, this is Ash's month, and
but Ash's month is December. That's when your birth month. So that means
my brother do the whole birth month thing. I don't understand that.
April is my month.
Oh, you get the whole birth month thing too?
Yeah, it's my whole month.
Oh, yeah, I don't understand that.
Maximum laziness.
No, maximum give me stuff.
Okay.
But I have a question for y'all. But before that, I just wanted to let everybody know, Daft Punk said that they're not friends no more.
They don't fuck with each other after 23 years.
No, you can't be friends if you break up.
As a band?
Yeah, that indicates that y'all
there are
don't
plenty
like
of people
each other.
who leave bands and do stuff that, like...
Did Led Zeppelin break up? Or did they...
I mean, every single great rock band, for the most part,
But they still be performing with each other sometimes.
Well, nowadays, I think they're back together, but I think they just perform their classic stuff, not really...
Yeah, they don't do no new stuff. They was like, Bonham is dead, we stopped this. But I was just thinking about bands that broke up that still be fucking with each other. And they still like be perform. They be performing every once in a while with each other.
Green Day?
Green Day never broke up. They supposed to come out with a new album, ain't they?
I don't know. It's like I feel like Green Day's been around for so long.
Forever.
No, okay.
I don't know if it's coming out or not.
But just think about it. Like, can you break up and still be cool? Like, we can't do this no more as a collective.
House Mafia is still friends. I had this example off like Mike, but they're still cool. It's just like we are a 4-person EDM set and organizing 4 people for 20 plus years, and now some of us have 2 kids, wives, and all this other stuff. And it's just like we got other stuff we want to be doing. And it's like,
well, they're not cool with each other now, but maybe later on down the line they'll get cool again. Maybe that's what happened with Led Zeppelin, because theirs happened pretty tragically.
I guess my thing is like, why not retire then? Then instead of break up. Like that just sounds like y'all don't fuck with each other. Oh, we broke up. So that
it doesn't mean that they're not going to release independent projects. It just means they're not going to release any more projects together. It's just like coordinating this process.
I have a question. If they release independent projects, that is not Swedish House Mafia, correct?
Yes.
Which would mean that Swedish House Mafia could still, in theory, be retired, and they still do things solo.
But no, bands don't retire. Bands break up. That's the way bands work.
That's so weird. Why not just retire?
Because when you say, no, you don't retire the band. You retire individually. Like, retirement is an individual type of thing. You can retire from a band. An individual person can retire and you can be replaced. It happens all the time.
No, I understand.
But by breaking up the band,
the whole
it's just
band
like,
is just gonna stop. They should just retire the band. Breaking up makes it sound like y'all
because it's
like each other.
Like Panic at the Disco. It's like there's only one person.
All I know is Daft Punk don't like each other.
It's like there's only one person in Panic at the Disco who was in a Panic at the Disco originally. That is it.
Brennan in the streets.
But It's still called Panic at the Disco because they replaced all the individual parts. So it's like...
Yeah, but the band kept doing stuff.
Yes, but the band is completely and totally different people.
That doesn't matter. But that doesn't matter. If y'all are going to continue doing things under that name, then it's fine.
But
my thing is y'all don't have any intention of doing things under that name, and y'all are still no, it's not. And y'all are still on amicable terms. Why not just retire the band? We're retiring this era of our lives
because it's not. No one for some reason you are taking
we can.
You're taking this breakup as bands break. Everyone treats bands breaking up as like.
There's usually some bullshit around it.
No, I mean there are plenty of bands that broke up off of like after like a last tour. Is like this is our last tour, and then we're breaking up.
Some bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Who else broke up over some bullshit?
Motley Crue.
I want to say
Led Zeppelin.
No, Led Zeppelin didn't break up over no bullshit. They literally died. They were like, we're not continuing out this nigga.
That's that physical graffiti tour. I talked to my karate teacher is also the guy who teaches me guitar, and I want to be able to play In My Time and Dying at some point in my life. Mm-hmm. And he looked at me as like, I'm not going to teach you that song. That entire album's cursed. Nothing good happened when that album was going on.
They said it's like one of their best albums, but also
it's a wonderful album. It's like you can hear all the old bluesy type of influence in it. You get the slide guitar.
Don't get me started, please. Also, I'm about to get in a whole bag. Oh my god!
Also, with them going on this tangent, I do want to let you guys know that we will be starting a new segment to talk about music on the show. We're gonna bring in an artist that we really love. As you can see, both of them are very passionate about Led Zeppelin,
everybody's
rock,
passionate about Led Zeppelin,
different eras of music, and so yeah, should be a good time.
I'll start. I think it's hard to say where we should start this all off at.
We'll figure it out.
It's like, what's a good starting point? I think Jimi Hendrix is a good starting point.
I'm gonna go last.
Okay.
Well, that means you can read the room about it.
No, I figure y'all to be more varied, and
we know where you going.
I kind of know where I'm going already.
SZA.
Nigga.
No, I already told y'all. When it's my week, I'm going to Avant, and then I'm going to Kendrick. I'm telling you, my first two. Yeah. I feel like
I'll probably go Hendrix to Queens of Stone Age.
I literally do not know what mine is right now.
I don't know.
They are very decisive. This is it. Damn.
Well, it's just like influential people that I care about.
But that's not like a topic to you. You're just throwing an artist and just talking about them.
Well,
that's weird to me.
Well, so for me, I guess I chose Avant first because like
the one we stick on R&B then.
It's more about
because I don't listen to R&B.
Yeah, you don't?
Charles doesn't really fuck with R&B at all.
That's why wild. So that'll
really
be
interesting. Yeah.
Oh.
Like we have a decent juxtaposition on. Like you have a reasonable we overlap in a reasonable amount of ways, but I overlap with him on hip hop. Yeah. But you don't overlap with us on hip hop, but we overlap on rock.
That's wild. Yeah, so how that little triangle worked out.
Yeah. There's a lot of different things where we all kind of overlap and then don't overlap in things. Mm-hmm. So that's why I thought it would be interesting where we could also bring like y'all know certain artists I have no idea about. That would be cool. Me and you know certain artists that Charles has no idea about. Me and Charles know artists that you don't have no idea about. So I just thought things like that would be interesting because we're all
R&B is just music to fuck by.
Don't you say that?
That's not he does not give a fuck about R&B at all.
He clearly was like, it's fucking baby making music.
That's what I'm like, yeah. So
that's what they talk about.
Charles is not gonna have any like reference.
My heart is broken.
The good shit that I'm
talking
talking
about. Making this child.
Oh my god.
That's not all it is.
No, it's not.
I say about this love. Say rumor.
He's like so stupid.
Sometimes R&B is about like. Have you ever heard Cradles in the Sun?
Oh my god.
Craisins in the Sun.
Cradles in the Sun by Miguel.
No.
Or Candles in the Sun. I think it's Candles in the Sun. Let me check. It might be Candles in the Sun.
Here's some old shit. It's an aquatic song. This is like a very unknown band. They got the song called Where Is Love, where he just asking like the philosophical shit about where is love? Where does it come from? How do you find it?
Baby, don't hurt me.
Nigga, Earth, Wind, and Fire. Don't be always talking about fucking. What are you talking about?
But that's not R&B.
Yes, it is.
That's funk.
That's definitely not no funk. That's not specifically funk. Parliament is more funk, you know.
I'm sorry. It's soul music. So it's just like I think people are a little bit too liberal with the title of R&B. It's just like, this is R&B. Just because they sing doesn't make it R&B. At that point, country is basically R&B.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not going to talk about that.
Well, R&B is rhythm and blues.
Yes. When you took the derivative off of blues, you added more. It's like where the derivatives go off of blues is very, very interesting. Because like, one side you have the Rolling Stones and stuff like that, and then you end up in rock, and then you end up in R&B, which is a more produced version of blues.
This is Candles in the Sun. He's not singing about love or anything. He's talking about God and like war and like just morality and just whole different bag, but it's still R&B.
I wouldn't really even put this inside the R&B genre. This sounds like saying something sounds like an alternative song is like saying this has no category.
That's a cop out.
I mean, well, alternative literally is just a musical umbrella for anything that doesn't naturally fit in any known area right now.
I'm mad. You had to look at it like, hey, is this still...
No, I'm keeping a very meticulous eye on this.
Hey, I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you.
It's like, we're not going to do this over. It's like, we going to save it, we're going to reclose it, we going to open it up, and we going to keep it pushing.
But
listen, you can count on that. You can count on a Virgo to be very meticulous.
Music conversation. All of us are pretty in depth with our musical knowledge.
It's half of what we talk about before the show starts.
We have very strong musical opinions. That is also very true.
We got into an argument about that bass line wasn't in the fucking song.
Yeah, we did argue about the bass line being in the song.
Because it wasn't in there. Yeah, it's turned down.
They were like, Tony was definitely looking at us.
No.
Don't you know that like the Simpsons, two monkeys fighting on the
yeah, they were really
boat thing?
Because he knows
no, you were
technically what I be trying to say, like, I don't like this song because the bass be rattly. He know what that is technically. I can never express it because I'm never in the studio recording.
I mean, the bass levels what I be feeling about a song. High on that song.
See, I don't know what to say about that.
And but then I can also understand where Tony's coming from. It's just like, this is what you sold me. It's like the Cup game or 3-card money in New York. It's just like, wait a second. It was never in here. Yeah. You son of a bitch. You scammed me.
Yeah, so that's my issue.
Y'all can't tell me that it wasn't there. He was out here bumping
this song for a while.
I may not be able to speak like Charles, but also I have a really good ear. Like, oh, that is something completely new.
Sitting up here, nodding his head. Next thing you know, he gets to it. This is my song on the album.
And then it wasn't. Yeah, no, it started terrible. I was like,
I was here for the bass.
This is not how this starts. So I listened to it all, then I went to the other one. I was like, okay, so I was right. This is different. This is why I don't trust you guys. This is why I have trust issues right now. Because y'all just do that.
If your Metro don't trust y'all, I'll shoot you.
Y'all just give me something.
Riley kept saying that all one day. She just said, Metro don't trust you, I'm going to shoot you. Where did you learn this? And she just kept saying it. She just kept saying it all day.
Even though that's literally like the way I primarily got that from The Life of Pablo, which is possibly like, I think it's part 2, which is considered to be like one of the worst Kanye West albums ever.
Probably.
It's like, but anyway, before we get too far in the musical bag, but you know what's in the bag now.
Yeah, it's pretty entertaining, I think.
And we'll talk about the changes on Sam's Club when we get to there. But what we got? Tony has confused himself. There we go.
I know what I want to ask. It's still in the musical section.
Okay.
Who's the first person or the first group or the first concert that you want to see live? once things open up.
Oh my God, Playboy Cardi. I cannot wait to smash niggas' head. Soon as RIP come on, oh my God. I cannot
Cardi.
wait.
I hate you so much. You're so ghetto.
But oh my God, take my shirt off and not a hoe stop. I cannot wait to hit someone in the face when that song comes on.
Playboy Cardi is so terrible.
I wanted to go. I was actually looking forward to possibly going to the Van Weezer tour.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was an entire album that was supposed to be like super 80s guitar riffy type things.
Yeah.
And then they canceled it and just released OK Human, which was a complete and total surprise. Like Tony's the one who told me about it. Like, there's a Weezer album out. I'm sorry, what? I thought they pushed that entire slate of projects back because, you know, it was meant to be toured on for concerts and there were no concerts. So that means they just said, you know what, you guys aren't getting this.
I'm not vibing. Oh my God, I can't get away to get around some angry white boys. Oh, that is Death Grips. Like, I didn't think that when we went to the Maxwell concert that they was gonna be moshing, but there I was, right with them.
Why are they moshing at a Maxwell concert?
Clue, but we were there throwing each other around. I'm like, this is strange, but I like it. I cannot wait.
Who's the dude who came out with, oh, Khaled? That's like going to a Khaled concert and be like,
it's either that or Death Grips. Either one of those come first.
Location. Why are you moshing the location, guys?
Nigga, oh my, dude, I don't know. It's such I cannot wait to buy his vinyl. That's all I've been listening to lately. I can't help myself, and I don't know why.
I don't know why. In nauseam, I don't listen to R&B, but for some reason, I can listen to Khaled.
Khaled?
Yeah.
I don't like his. That's not the good critique.
I don't like his voice. Oh, I mean, he's not a singer. He's definitely talking to people.
I don't like Kodak Black's voice.
I
think it's nasally.
I'm not a fan of Kodak Black, period.
I mean, he doesn't really make good music that I in general, but his voice also just ruined it for me.
Yeah, Bjork make great music, but when she get the fucking singing, I'd be like,
man, everybody out here, nobody was happy that Kodak Black got let out. Everyone was like, yeah, Murder's out. Aren't y'all ready for this Kodak Black music? No, we don't really want it.
I ain't never heard no Kodak, like, his work in entirety, but also I'm not mad at it. But I fuck with Lil Yachty. Would I go to a Lil Yachty concert? I probably would. He's fun. I like him. But no, those two right there.
I've never actually
I want to go to a Griselda concert.
Oh, me too.
I want to go somewhere where it feels dangerous.
See, that was my overall thought process. Because it's like, that seems like a concert that might get shot up.
I'm ready.
I'm not interested.
I'm ready. I'm sorry. Yes.
I would like to go to a Griselda concert because I've never seen them. And none of the bigger artists that I really want to see are haven't put out music.
Ooh, that means Reason will be there.
I would also like to see a Reason concert and Boogie because I'm really into Boogie right now.
West Side Boogie.
Yeah, West Side Boogie is killing shit. So
Boogie with a hoodie.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind going to one of his. I like him. I like when you play him. So I wouldn't mind going to him. But the Griselda one, yes.
To go to that
as long as
Anderson .Paak and Bruno Mars concert.
That might be fun. That sounds like a fun little summertime thing.
Yeah.
Silk Sonics.
Yeah, Silk Sonics concert.
That do sound fun to listen to, actually.
Yeah, I think that'd be a nice little. I think that'd just be a great vibe at a concert.
Yeah.
I don't know. Bruno Mars has completely and totally embraced his full ethnicity.
Especially since it's probably going to be like at an arena.
It's just like, I don't need to silk my hair back.
I got outside. I feel like that'd be an outside concert.
Yeah, I think it's going to be at an arena.
Yeah, that should definitely be
at an arena. What I'm doing is bringing me some that good ganja, and I'm gonna have a good time.
Yeah, that sounds like something.
Might eat an edible. I don't even like edibles all like that, but I might just step out of character one time for the one time.
Oh, get some good brownies.
Yeah, but
I'm definitely ready to smack somebody upside the fucking head. Death Grips came. I think they came 2000. I don't
want to go to any Death Grips concert because that seems like a place where you can get clotheslined.
Yes, nigga, I'm trying to see that.
I want to go to R&B concerts too. Like I want to go to Lucky Day's concert. I want to go see Lucky Day perform. I want to see a lot of R&B acts too. Like I think that'd be a nice summer vibe, especially if I can get some outside concerts.
Earl Sweatshirt came 2019, I think it was, and I missed that one. Kind of sad about that one.
That would be a good time.
Yeah, he came in 2019. I missed that one. I think I had to work overnight. Oh my God, I'm so glad I ain't got to do that shit no more. But yeah.
I want to go to that Earl Sweatshirt concert.
I would have went to that one. That's a vibe. I'm usually like, I don't really like going to concerts for real, because me standing around listening to niggas play music is not like the greatest thing in the world.
I don't like hip hop concerts more than anything else just because of the fact that the production value that is present inside of a presentation inside of like an album is never going to be there for a live venue. And a lot of hip hop artists don't actually have the energy that one would need for.
All right, so I only go to specific hip hop concerts. Like Kendrick does a really good show. I've been to a Kanye show; those are really good. Travis does a really good show. Drake does a really good show. But they're also the ones that are putting a lot of money into their production and things like that. So you're getting a good theatrical performance and everything like that, and high energy.
Yeah, Playboy don't really do like. His whole aesthetic is supposed to be like kind of rock star-ish. He's a great performer, but he don't have the production value like you were saying of those artists. But he got the energy though.
If you don't have rock star energy, that's a whole other thing.
No, he do got it.
Drink either. I'm talking about like you just out there jumping around, acting a fool. Everybody's having fun, and you're bringing
his concerts look extremely fun, and I can't wait for this. Oh my god, I cannot wait to smack the fuck out of somebody.
I also like who else? What's his name? Tyler the Creator puts on a really good concert as well.
That's good. That is true.
I went and saw Cherry Bomb live.
I saw them when they were still.
I feel like the further away we get from Odd Future Tyler, well, based upon the song that we actually got from him recently, he's a lot closer to Odd Future Tyler right now than he would be. I think he might have broke up with somebody.
No, I saw them when they were Odd Future. All them niggas came out and performed these songs.
That sounds like terribly manic. What y'all out here do? Tyler, why do you have your pants pulled down?
It was fun.
I'm trying to think. Like, I definitely want to get into going to more concerts. Like, I was really into that maybe 2018, 2017, 2019. I kind of fell off of it. And then 2020 happened, and then there wasn't concerts.
There was nothing.
Well, you came here, and then you got less into the bag because you're not as like everyone. The weird thing about being in Cleveland is everyone wants to perform here at some point because of the Hall of Fame and all that other stuff, and like the music.
But it's not at the top of the list.
Is like a thing, but the problem is most people can't afford to tour here because they're not on any of the given circuits. So that means it's like you would go straight up the East Coast.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Straight up the West Coast.
Yeah, there's lots of routes that are like.
See, I didn't know. I thought they was just being assholes. Like, we're not going to Cleveland.
So cutting across, you would do Philly, Pittsburgh, Cleveland.
Oh, okay.
But the problem is you can't go out any further west because it's like at that point you're going to go to Indianapolis and maybe you loop back down.
Oh.
But, like.
You learn something new every
concert
day.
Routes, like you would probably go Cleveland, Columbus, Cincinnati.
Right.
And you go down to like Nashville and you cut back across, but then you cut back into the same route. So maybe you want to loop back around and end up back in New Jersey. Mm-hmm. But that's just still a really weird route.
Okay. I didn't know that.
So maybe coming up top from like Maine, you can cut across, go down to New York, cut across Philadelphia, come back across, go to New Jersey. Like, go down to New Jersey, cut across, and then go back over to like through Virginia over to Washington D.C. and then go back down. That sounds wildly expensive for not that much money.
Okay, look at that, guys. Look at that.
I only know this because I know someone who was like a record exec and they like had privileged information to a lot of these routes and the reason they are the way that they are. Like
it's like 2 or 3 major companies that have contracts with a lot of the venues and everything like that. Like, so either you're like, I think it's Live Nation.
Yeah.
And then there's another one. So either you're booking through one of those 2 companies.
Really, yeah. There's a mad monopoly that people are kind of upset that exists.
Yeah. So it's, you have to like go through them. So yeah, that's another reason why it's hard to get live shows and things like that. Unless you're like going to like.
You either go for small market.
You can do what they call the Chitlin circuit, which is doing all like. It'd be like doing the small show. It's like when you do get the artists that the smaller artists come out here, they'll do Cleveland, they'll do Detroit, they're going to do the smaller clubs in like Atlanta. They're just going to do all the black areas. Really.
Oh.
Yeah.
But it's unfortunately called the
you pretty much have like the Rust Belt tour, which is like Detroit, Chicago, like all the Midwestern stuff. And then you have Chitlin Circuit, which was normally like the Southern stuff, but they probably expanded it some inside of late. You have East Coast tour, West Coast tour. I don't know. I feel sorry for anybody who's from the center of America because y'all don't get nobody to come in.
Not at all.
I mean, touring on the West Coast, you can stay in California and tour.
You can just tour up and down California
and never leave the state and
then hit Portland and Seattle and be fine. like hop a flight from the end of California to Portland and hop another one to Seattle and then fly back home.
That's the one good thing about California. Like, you can be very insular there. Like, you might not be known anywhere else, but as long as you're known on the West Coast, you're fine.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you'll be allowed to like subsist and like move up and down and have a pretty decent lifestyle.
The only thing that's nice about being here is because we're so close to Toronto, that actually helps us out. Because Toronto is like a huge enough city to the point where you can do multiple shows in it. So yeah, sometimes you'll get people who trickle over into like Buffalo or Detroit or here because it's flyable distance.
I mean, I travel for shows though too. Like, I've gone to California for a show. I've driven to Philadelphia. So I'm also willing to travel to go to concerts depending on who it is and what I want to see.
I'm not terribly interested in sort of going more populated versions of places that I live. Like, that's how I kind of look at Philadelphia. It's just like, hey,
well,
I'm just kind of Clevelandy with more stuff.
Well, so no, I went to Philadelphia for the Roots picnic. And it's only in Philadelphia.
Like
it's a festival,
like kind of Roots.
Yeah.
Then was
that's a good time.
Yeah. So yeah, I went to the Roots picnic. So yeah, and then so you got to see like what's his name, Black Thought, do a live mixtape where him and a whole bunch of different friends, they would just throw on the beat and just start freestyling and going, but. It was him and like Pharaoh Monster, just a whole lot of monsters up there, just doing ridiculous shit. Then you got to see SZA. There's all kinds.
Why was SZA there?
Bruh.
It's just like,
I had an amazing time. I saw.
It was like, why are you here, SZA?
Joe Budden's podcast was there. It was a very good time.
SZA, your professional side.
Yeah, that was 2018. I did that. I want to say.
You can't besmirch my lady's name like that.
That's not your lady. You don't even listen to all of her albums anymore. You gotta listen to all of them.
I did listen to all her albums. She got Ellie mixtapes. I listen to everything she's put out. And I'ma still listen to it. But also though.
Why you listen to it? Like, why are you putting yourself through this, SZA?
Yeah,
you're too good for this.
Like,
another one of my vibes is like going to a place like if an artist like has like really strong ties to his hometown and things like that. I like going there to see them perform.
That sounds like a good time.
Like, I went to LA to see Kendrick perform, and it was just a different type of energy. Because I've seen him perform different other times. Like, I've seen him out here perform. I've seen all the TDE perform in. I remember so much. Where was I? I was at the Pavilion out here.
Yep.
And I saw J-Rock, Absol, Schoolboy. I saw Kid Ink, K-Dot. I saw everybody and some other random just California people on this random tour. So I've seen them there. I've seen them somewhere else too. But I was like, it was just a different type of energy and just a different feel when I was in California.
It's just like, since I'm in LA, y'all actually get an encore.
Like, it was lit. It was a great time. So
it helps when you can just leave and go home though.
Yeah.
It's just like,
hey, that's probably a big ass fact. It's probably like, hey, I can just go to the house after this. So I'm about to have a great time, rock out, be out for a while, and then I'm going home.
This is like going out to the club.
Chill.
Whereas, there's certain places that I just want to be in terms of music. Like, I'm upset that I went to New York, but I didn't get to actually experience any of the New York live music scene because I know that's like a huge thing there. And their music, like, you can pretty much get anything there. In general, like, I can get my alt rock thing going on, and then it's just like, what are you about to do? I'm about to hop a burrow, and I'm about to go see a hip hop show. Let's go.
What's the concert? Sorry, what's the concert you would pay anything to do? See, anything, like unlimited resources, and they was like, it's this price.
Are they
I'm paying it. Don't matter. Anything. I'm picking Sade. Oh my God, can she rock me to sleep while she sings? I'll pay anything to just sit near her. Any fucking thing. Who else would I pay to see?
Prince, Michael Jackson, Tupac.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
I'd do Michael Jackson.
I want the Wu-Tang with ODB alive. That sounds like that'd be a real
pay
fun
anything.
time.
That's a real fun
Wu-Tang.
fucking time.
Or Easy.
See, the thing about,
I'm very West Coast biased.
I don't. It would have to be an NWA concert. I wouldn't just be able to go See,
I want it to be NWA, but I want Eazy-E to be alive. So I needed to specify that.
It's like I needed to be not like the same thing with no Eazy-E. So even though he's technically the worst rapper of all 4 people that are in there, like
I want DLC to have his old voice. Like if all the members of NWA, MC Ren,
Ice Cube,
Dr. Dre, DLC, Easy, if they were all there, it was DLC before the car accident and his voice got messed up. All of that, that'd be a banger. Ice Cube.
How would you Talking Heads? I just thought about it.
Based on this Eminem thing,
I would do Mac Miller.
I hope none of these people go back and actually decide to go back to randomly listen to like NWA's music. They gonna have a terrible surprise about Ice Cube. It's just like, you were talking about killing someone.
I do.
And now you make children's movies. How can you make this pivot? I was making this pivot then.
I think I would want to see Michael just because everybody talks about how amazing Beyonce's production is. So I would like to just like be able in my own eyes to see like
what the difference is.
A 1-to-1 comparison. Like, all right, y'all compare her like presence and like how she performs and everything like that to Michael. So I want to see the king in his like full like bag.
Yeah, it's just like this is like
which one though? You want him in the 2000s or early before that? I'm picking Fresh Prime.
Yeah, I want
this nigga's moves to be like Chris.
Yeah, and if I'm paying everything for it, then
you want Beyonce pre-child. I want Michael Jackson post Off the Wall, like bad Off the Wall Thriller. It's like I want prime Michael Jackson. Who else would be like the other primary pop star that everyone says is the shit? Taylor Swift doesn't get to show up here because they will point at the door.
I've seen Kanye. Oh, y'all want to know something crazy?
Mm-hmm.
So y'all know that Kanye rant that he did where he was talking about Jay-Z wants to kill him and all this crazy shit?
Yeah,
I was there.
No, what?
Yeah.
You were probably also upset. It's like, sir.
I mean, he did like ruin the concert for it. Like he did the concert and then also went on the rant. So you got both. It was a very interesting time. But yeah, I was there for Kanye.
What era of Kanye was that? Was that post My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy? Well, it had to be post My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
Yeah.
But it was pre-Life of Pablo.
He was on some floating thing. Kanye did a concert where he was on top of this like floating cloud thing, and so you could be up under him, but then you couldn't see him performing, which was really weird.
Because it's like,
but yeah, he was on this like floating platform. That's where Travis Scott got the idea to have the eagle that would flew around and shit like that. I've seen The Weeknd perform. Actually, I didn't see The Weeknd perform. I got upset because I bought The Weeknd tickets so I could see Black perform. The 2 people I brought with me were slow, so we got there late and only saw part of Black perform. So I watched that. I watched a little bit of somebody else performing, and I left because I didn't give a fuck about The Weeknd performing. Because I hated the album that he put out.
What album was it?
I think it was Starboy or some shit like that.
Oh, man, that's like, I understand people enjoy it. Like that was basically his big thing, but like his first album was like, you set the stage like way too high for your own self.
You set the stage way too dark for your own self to go this this different. Like this was a very, very different turn, and then like I feel like that was like his all the way pop album, and I was like,
yes,
and pop album. That was when Black had just come out, and I was like, I just really want to see Black, so I saw that. I came back in to see him like do one song with The Weeknd, and other than that, I chilled in the car until they were ready to go.
You didn't even leave them. You were just like, no, I was about to go out here and smoke.
Couldn't leave them. But I was in Seattle at the time when I lived out there.
I mean, they gotta get you some public infrastructure. They should be able to get home.
Oh my God. Now I'm going through the list of people who I wanted to see, and I'm just going down my artist list. And I'd pay anything to see Frank Ocean, to be honest. I'd pay anything. Because that's my baby.
Have I seen Frank Ocean?
Oh, no. For some reason, I input John Legend into Frank Ocean. It's just like, why would you pay to go see that?
You know, I'm not I've randomly seen people by way of them being openers for other people. And that has been a great time. That's I saw Vince Staples.
Ooh, that was probably a time. That's a person I want to see live.
Vince Staples opened for Tyler, the Creator. And so that was a great time because I saw him in Seattle.
It's a lot of dance, like electronic bands I want to see, but that's not like I wouldn't pay much. I'll pay money to see Matthew Deere.
Well, as you guys can see, music is definitely going to be a new part of our show because look at them.
Look at them. Where was you at? Where was you at? Where did you go?
You asked the damn question.
Right, where you go? Look at them.
You dove into music multiple times.
And act like he didn't enjoy the whole ass ride. Look at them. It's your fault.
Yeah, look at y'all out here, doing stuff. Oh, I don't care about that anymore. So I was gonna ask y'all a question that I don't care about no more. It was about the Jay-Z shit, but I honestly don't care about
Jay-Z shit. Oh, himself
titled to Jack Dorsey. Yeah.
Oh, that's just ultimately a changing of hands.
I mean, I think it puts Jay-Z in different rooms. So I think that's good, but I don't care enough to talk about it. To be honest with you. But what I do want to talk about is what is your creative process?
What?
Anything, everything. So what is your creative process when it comes to writing? What is your creative process in your 3 creative fields?
Okay.
I would say writing, programming, and then
making games, I guess, is technically its own thing.
Yep. And then same for you, Ash. What's your creative process?
I have to fight is getting my ass to sit down and actually do it, but I pace a lot.
I'll have something in my head, so I already know kind of like going through my themes and things like that, but to actually get down and sit it, I have to like square myself off. My music has to be extra, like it has to be really loud, noise canceling up to whatever the fuck, and it got to be like some real hardcore ass hip hop playing to keep my momentum going. Like it has to be me squared off, and I sit there and I write. If I'm just like writing poems and shit, I don't have to get into that one. But when it comes to like my stories, I gotta be like in the zone, and I kind of gotta power through it because it won't get done. But when it comes to like if I'm writing poetry, it's just more like a spark of, I'll take like, now I'm starting to do like writing prompts where I'll take other poets or other singers or whatever, and if it's like a specific lyric that inspire me, I'll write off that lyric, or a moment or whatever, I'll just go on right off of that. But me sitting down isn't really the hardest part. It's more so like me trying to talk myself out of like, that's not a good idea. At this point, I don't really care about more so about ideas. I just need to write it because now I'm seeing like I suck. So I just need to write it out, and then I'll go back and tweak it because I think I'm about to toss everything that I wrote into whatever the fuck I wrote to this point. I think I'm going to toss it and just start over because I'm at the point where I'm studying about how to write not a good story, but to get my vision clear about the stories that I want to write, the themes and everything. I'm watching movies now, like even when I was talking about Collateral, about how they use like lighting and shit, or just little tiny symbols in there that you wouldn't know meant. I'm trying to think about those things in whatever the fuck I'm writing now. I'm trying to think about the symbols and what this means and how like characters develop over time. So I'm getting more into that. But sitting down would be the hardest part because I'm always trying to talk myself out of it. I don't know if that answered your question, but sorry.
Writing. For writing, it's more so easy to do other places. Like, because I'm the composition notebook type. I would rather write stuff down physically and have a dictator come back and do it, as opposed to having something else like typing it. I don't know why typing and writing just doesn't work very well for me.
Yeah, no, like when I write, because like I said, me just writing out feelings and just my thoughts and my poems, they have to be handwritten. But my stories and things like that, I don't mind typing those for some reason. There's just something different about it. I don't know why.
I don't know, my thoughts. It's just faster to get the thoughts out of my head the other way.
By typing?
By writing.
By writing? Oh, okay.
I don't know. And also it's like, it depends upon what I'm writing. Because stories, I always like to have timelines. It's just like, where was this character while this was happening? Where was this character while this was happening? Even though it's not always relevant to the story, it's just like, that's how you kind of get these cool things, or like how you see the necessary information for the user. If the reader pays enough attention, you can actually figure out what's going on. Whereas if they're not, it's cool. It's always cool for the reader to always be able to go back and say, "Hey, look, like, oh my God, that character was actually there." Because when you have like kind of a mystery element, or when people are trying to figure stuff out, which is pretty much always inside of the stuff that I like to write, or problem solving type things, it's just, I think it's cool to have that type of stuff in there. But that's kind of a personal gig, not necessarily anything that's necessary.
Yeah, but
like programming, I can only do in front of a computer. So
yeah, before I would just like spit out random like scenes where I thought it would be cool to just write this out. This would be cool scene in the book. But I'm seeing like I got to be a little bit more intentional about what the characters might mean, or why is this scene important? Not just like this cute action scene I think would be cool in a book. Now I'm starting to get more intentional about it. And I bought, did I buy 3? No, I bought 2 books on writing screenplays and things like that. So I like to study while I'm writing too. So I can kind of give myself an outline of where I want to go, follow a few pointers, but I also don't suggest buying too many of those books beforehand, because then you'll get like the paralysis of, I need to do it this way. How it was just kind of written out by somebody else's standards. But I kind of take that stuff with a grain of salt, because I want to be good at it, but I also know that I suck at it. So I don't know. It's like a constant just revising and getting more clear. Now that I'm writing a little bit more seriously, it's like, oh, I see now where I'm going wrong. Like just kind of getting it out was cool for a while, but now I'm starting to see like I had to be a bit more intentional. Like every scene gonna have to mean something in the broader respect of whatever I want the moral of my story to be. Yeah, no, I don't know the process of it. It's just, I hate like getting myself into the mode where I have to be inspired to write. Like I'm really trying to write every day, no matter what. Cause I guess inspiration is fleeting for real. And I don't want to be that person, because you don't never know when that jolt of, oh my God, will come. And that don't happen too often. But me being consistent, and then when I do get those sparks of inspiration, I'll already still be writing. And it's not like this big lull to get in front of the computer.
Well, because, not everything about writing is 100%, I guess, inspirational. Like, I think you can be inspired when it comes to the plot, but there's a lot of minutia involved, like describing areas and doing things like that. It's just like, there's not everything you have to be the most like inspired in the world in order to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all right, what's this place look like? All right, well, I described the entire place. Man, that's like a whole page's worth of description. I got to figure out a way to trickle this stuff out.
Right.
And it's just like, you get inspired when it comes to characters or clever twists and stuff like that. But once the skeleton's there, you can insert it where you want to. Because you don't have to write linearly. So figuring that out is also kind of a cheat. Mm-hmm. But that's just kind of what my creative process is. Get myself to sit down, think. There's a lot of pacing involved. Don't sit for like extended periods of time and just stare at a blank screen. And then sit down and type some more. Once you figured out,
sit down.
Yeah, it's like stand up, walk around, sit back down, do some more stuff. If I run into a problem, stand up. Don't just stare at it. Think about it, how you would go about it. For writing, it's all about getting into the perspective of the given character that I'm writing at that particular point in time. For game design, oftentimes is literally just sitting down. It's just like, how the hell do I actually solve this problem? And for programming is pretty much the same thing. How do I solve this problem or the issue am I having, and how do I want to go about solving it? Because programming is a lot easier for me to figure out. Like, here's the problem. It's more about like, how am I going to go about solving this problem? What tools am I going to use? So, and then pop my butt down, do some more typing, and then into another problem. Oh, time to stand back up.
What's yours?
I guess for everything, is environmental for me.
Something has to be in a gnat-free environment.
Well, not even that. I like being in environments where everybody else is working. Like when I'm in college, I do a lot of my best personal work there. Like just because I like being around other people that are working. Just environments where other people are being productive as well is an environment that makes me a lot more like productive. Outside of that, my writing, I have to map it out in my head first. Like I can't just sit down and start writing. Like I need to know, I need to build the world for myself because I have certain questions on how certain things happen. Like, all right, well, how does he travel from here to there? What are the methods of travel? What are the creatures that are involved in this? And so I need to know like everything. Like so that's why like having the map designed for the world was very important for me because I need to know like before when I was just trying to create places and things like that, nothing was tangible. So I need certain elements to be in place.
You need to nail things down.
Yeah. So before I can write, I need things to be kind of in a more concrete fashion in terms of like lore and like context for the world.
What are the methods of travel? You travel by this method, which is this. And once you explain it one time, you can say, I travel by hover train to blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I've already told them about hover train, so I don't need to say, all this really needs to be said is I travel by hover train.
Yeah, but I needed to know that hover trains existed. Or like in my story, trains is actually the main mode of transportation. And there's two types of trains, just like the ones that regular people take and shit like that. And then there's like battle engines that move across the land without tracks. And so there's just those two different types of trains. And so, but knowing that, all right, this is going to be the way that I operate my world because a lot of it is covered by just like large expanses of land. Like it's
mostly not populated.
It's mostly not populated, and it also just mostly land in general compared to like water to land ratio.
Yeah.
And so just things like that, I needed to understand like, all right, how do people move around this great vast distance, things like that? How do they make it convenient? All right, is flying a thing? If flying is a thing, how does that affect the world in combat?
Flying
and shit
is
like
terrible.
That? And yeah, so those are things that like, all right, but if flying isn't a thing, why isn't it a thing? How do you like
as soon as you introduce airships or anything like that, it's just like, God damn it, I have to justify so much.
See, I'm so worried about getting caught in those details.
You don't
because it be those things that slow me down. Like
you don't like the minutia stuff as much as you like you're a big picture person. Not a like
I'm good with details. It's just I can get caught up in the details very easily and then try to mull over like the big thing right now that goes on is you'll see like with not movie essays, but y'all know cinema stands.
Yes.
That's what I'm afraid of. Getting caught up in like, well, why didn't this thing happen? Like, nigga, it's a movie. Like you come there to suspend your belief. When you in story mode, like you come to suspend your belief so anything can happen.
No, so I don't get caught up too much in like in that terms of in writing, but it's more so like for me, if I introduce flight, then it only makes sense for you to drop bombs on another country if you could.
Mm-hmm.
So then that changes the way that warfare is fought. Yeah. If I want warfare to be more individualistic, then having airships kind of negates that. So that's why I have to remove it.
Yeah.
Because I wanted it to look away. It has nothing to do with like any fallacy of why it doesn't exist, but I'll explain it away. So
we just don't fly here, or it's very rare that someone has the capacity to fly, or it's not every person.
No, being up that high is gonna be real dangerous. Like it's gonna be real dense magical or up there.
It's just like you up there,
not fucking with it.
Yeah,
it's just like you can if you want to. There was this one dude who did it.
Yeah, so like
he fried.
But so for like that's how I write. Like I need to know what's going on, and then like I just right now I've been reading Jobless Reincarnation, the light novels. And so I just finished that all 9 volumes this week or so. Yeah, this week. Yeah. Right?
You did the same thing that I did. You sat down and you started reading it, and then you bought another one, and you kept reading, and you bought another one. It's just like, what you mean I'm out of things?
Yeah, so that's exactly what happened. So I just kept buying that. But I started reading that just because I was having an issue with formatting. Yes, the way that I was writing before was with the intent of everything being
novelized.
Huh?
Novelized?
Not novelized, but artistically expressed as well. So closer to like a manga, comic, something like that, graphic novel. So since I was writing like that, there were certain things that I could leave out with the intent that they're going to be expressed through like visual cues and things like that, like facial expressions, shit like that. When I'm writing now, with the intent of it being like a light novel and having no real like imagery to go along with it outside of like a couple of pages here or there,
it
changes like the way that I write. Yeah, and so I just wanted to like get a good grasp on, all right, how do other authors do this? What are some of the different techniques? And so that's kind of what I went back to doing. That's why I started reading the novels, really. And that's the only reason I really bought them. And so it gave me a good grasp. And that's how I ended up writing that, changing that page. And I've added a little bit more to that since then. And like, I'm kind of, well, I'm not stuck. I'm just working through like how I want to progress this next scene because I know where I want them to go. I'm just trying to figure out how I want to get well, I want to introduce some type of like conflict in the beginning of the story, but nothing like super crazy. But you know how there's always like something that they have to like overcome or deal with in the beginning to give like
a minor hurdle.
Yeah,
that forces everyone to kind of come together, or it really showcases the abilities or the nature of the people that people that you're dealing with.
Yeah, so that's more so what I want to do. I want to show the nature of the main character, one of the other side characters that eventually join his party, and then one of not really an antagonist, but one of the agents of chaos. Like there's 4 of them in the story that I have, and one of them just so happens to be on the same train that they're on, and so they just are doing. They're not bothering them. They're also just doing random shit. But the way that the first dude is set up, he's like, I can't just allow this to be happening, and the agent of chaos doesn't. He's like, well, go stop it then. And so yeah, so I know kind of what the conflict is, but I'm trying to work out how the main character and the side character meet, and like how they come to like work together and things like that. But other than that, it's more of me mapping it out in my head, playing with ideas, talking through things, and then coming back and then writing. And then I'll go on different things. For game design,
I feel like our bags are entirely different because I will overcomplicate things like a motherfucker.
Yeah, for me, like I don't know. I decide what I want to make, and I just kind of make it like when we wanted to make the card game Rex. We had a couple of rules. We want a energy system that isn't relying on
RNG.
Yeah, RNG and also drawing. So you can never like draw into being like no energy or no way to like do anything.
Oh, you don't want to deal with flooding or screw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was one of the main things.
Energy systems are terrible.
Yeah, so that was one of the main things that we wanted inside of our game. Where it's what we still wanted to be variable, but we didn't want it to be dependent on that. So that's why we came up with the dice. So just certain things like that. We decided, all right, what are we going to theme it on? That's where we came up with the chess and everything like that. And that's how we built out from there. And so that's kind of what I do is I create a theme and like a couple of like what I want to accomplish with it. And then I go from there. The game that I sent all of you guys the other day, it was Mario Party and a drinking game and Cards Against Humanity. So that's the overall theme for it.
See, those things just come out of my head. I just have a thing that I want to do, and I'll say, "Can I do this thing?" And then it'll be like, "Yeah." And it's just like, "All right."
I like that internal dialogue.
I mean, it was completely and totally random. Like for Seraphim, I hit Jones. It's just like, "Hey, I got this game idea. So you want to do it?" Like, "Sure, we'll go out to Starbucks." And then Tony showed up while we were at Starbucks, and he's just like, "I want to do this." And it's just like, "All right, well, here we go." And then this is the idea, and then we work through the rules. Because like, I have to talk to people in order to get some things out of my head.
That's fair.
That's the way I work.
Created and crafted all the rules, and then I keep a lot of things inside of my head, like how I was telling you on the messages, like, oh, I haven't written the rules down, and then I just immediately started writing them down in the message. I was like, well, the brain dump is happening, so let's go ahead and go with it here. And so this is where they're written down. I'll just copy them from here and put them where I need them to be. And so that's the first time that they were ever written down. But I've known them all the time. It's just like, I'll know what I'm doing. I'll know the rules, and the rules are anything that's kind of like boring to me are just some of the harder things that I struggle with. And so that's kind of where I need like the environmental setting to be a factor. And so that's why that's important to me. But for the game design, it's mostly I come up with something random. Like I was just watching videos of people playing Mario Party and like how hype people were and shit like that. And just like the fact that all Mario Party is nothing but a collection of little games that you play in the attempt to beat your opponents.
I'm sorry, I was scrolling through Facebook and I saw something that I didn't.
See, that's what you get for being on social media, sir. Are we trying to
share this with Ash?
What? The caption is "Real Dick versus Dildo Challenge."
It's just like scrolling down Facebook. It's just like, thanks a lot, Sid. Thanks a lot.
Terrible. Other than that, podcast creation is usually an idea, and then building with other people to see like their perceptions and things like that, what they want to bring into it. See, why are you on social media over here bringing up stuff? You gotta pay attention, sir, over here on social media.
I just be out here scrolling down stuff.
Yeah, making noises on the show.
I don't normally make any noise.
That's not true. You're the one that makes all the noise. It's your phone going off. Doo doo doo. What you talking about?
You know you love that migrate.
Every show is you. Okay,
You know you love migrate.
That don't got nothing to do with it. The fact that you said it's not me making noise on the show. That is a lie.
The quietest.
Yeah, that's the biggest lie. Like, I don't care about anything else. Why you lie?
Anyway.
Oh, he gonna segue out of it. That's fine.
Hamburger segue.
Well, yeah, podcasting is mostly just like building with other people.
Yeah, that's not like a too hard of a process. Sometimes figuring out content every fucking week it'd be like, yo, what?
Yeah.
That is.
That's why I kind of like to make something around this one. Like when y'all said, oh, you should come over here. I don't know what I'm going to do over here. I don't have something I actually care about talking about every week.
Yeah, that'd be the hardest. And then like you can get in the trap of just talking about the same thing over and over because that can get kind of mundane. Even with the spirituality stuff, that can get damn sure mundane. Relationships, all that stuff. So like constantly just trying to find something. But yeah, like you can get over it. Like you said, you can talk about the same thing over and over again, and you're tired of hearing yourself like, "All right, bitch, we get it." But coming up with a new topic, that's by far the one that's like, fuck. What am I gonna do this week? It's really I don't know if I got a process for that. I know I sit down a particular day and then hash it out. Some of them need a little bit more hashing out than others. Like this one needed it a little bit more. So I'll just get down on like either Saturday or Sunday. Now I was leaning towards more Sunday because that's just when I got the time to do it. And I'll just research my topic a little bit, ask the questions that I want to ask beforehand, and then.
So Ash, what's your topic for today?
Oh, look at him segueing. Oh, you not finished?
How you just gonna set up a segue like that and not use it?
I'm not done. I got other stuff on my little notepad. Excuse me, sir.
Wait a minute. I was like, oh, wait. I don't think it's done.
What do you think you need to be the best version of yourself? What allows
I like
you
how
to be
he
the best
looked
version
at
of
the
yourself?
book. He looked at the book like maybe I misspelled a word here.
I need to be the best version of myself.
Yeah, like what are the things that like allow you to be the best version of you? Like, do you need to feel like comfortable in your environment? Do you need to feel like what? Just things like.
I don't go places where I don't.
Do you need like how? All right, so let me like it was. I guess so to how y'all creative process was. Where Ash was like, I need music to be around. Like, I need certain things to be in the atmosphere for me to be like on my shit. So what are the certain things that you feel like you need to be like just the best version of you, like in all situations? Like when you walk into a room and it's interview day, or you walk into a room where all eyes are on you and you don't know anybody. What do you think it takes for you to walk in that room feeling the most confident as the best version of Charles?
Is it weird of me to think that it's actually easier when no one knows you inside of a given room than the vice versa?
Yeah, you can be anything you want to be.
Exactly.
Like you just don't know me.
It's just like I can weave a whole web and just suck them in. And
I'll be hella friendly today.
It's just like,
yeah.
But when I'm dealing with like you sitting back there, it's like 31 people and you. It's just like, nigga. But what you out here doing?
But even if
you ain't this charming.
No, but even if no one knows you, but if you're being that charming, that would speak to you presenting what's the best version of you. Even if you're being anybody that you want to be, because you can always be whoever you want to be. Situation. But yeah, exactly. So, but that's what I mean. So, what does that best version of you look like? Like, how do you get to that?
Oh
like,
no, I'm saying that's going to vary situation by situation.
So what do you do to get to that point where you're like, all right, this is how I got to be here?
For that given situation, I just appraise the situation and be the person and reflect back the thing that you guys I feel like they need that would lead to the best result. It's just like I'm a very odd person to the point where like I know what my personality is, but what I show people is very much like
okay.
It takes a while.
This in life, do you think you're the best version of yourself?
Oh, I'm the version of myself that I am. I understand that is.
It's like, is this Windows 97 or is it Windows 97? That's what this is.
It's just like, I never really think about things like that. Like, am I the best version of myself? It's just like, what does that even mean? What is the best like? Is that the most productive version? Is that the happiest version? Is that?
Damn. So you don't ever see like.
There's never like that improvement.
Yeah, like there's never a point where you be like,
self-improvement is more so just hitting a different bar for a different goal. It's like I set disparate goals, but those goals are not me.
Yeah, but like, all right. So like, personally,
I set the goal to be able to run for 45 minutes, does that make me a better version of me? I don't think it particularly.
I don't think no. So it doesn't make you a better version of you on a general standard. But it could make you a better version of you to yourself. And so that's all that it matters is, do you think that is the version of me that can only run for 30 seconds the version that I like, or do I like the version of me that can run 4 miles and have no problem? It has nothing to do with anybody else saying,
but that's
if
the
best
thing.
version of you is the version that runs for 30 seconds, then that's the best version of you, because maybe that equates to you having skills in some other area. So I'm not saying that it has to be one or the other. I'm just saying, what do you feel like makes the best version of you? What are the things that you want, that you think like, all right, this makes me who I am? You look very uncomfortable about this very personal question.
It's not really it's just something I'm inherently confused by, because it's just like,
I guess more so to look at it, do you feel like there's flaws within your personality or persona or anything like that?
I mean, everyone has flaws. I can be overly blunt.
Mm-hmm.
I can be somewhat non-personable sometimes.
And do you feel the need to improve upon those flaws, or are you just like, well, this is what I am?
Those things, but I don't ever think
to not change it.
I don't ever, because sometimes, see, that's the thing. It's just like, I think everything is reasonable, but just not in excess. So I think that there are some people who use overly who are overly kind to people, and not because, and you mislead people because you don't actually just say what they actually need to hear, and it leads to people having this overall misconception of, well, so, like sometimes like being kind is not the way, because taking a look at it, it's just like, I don't know. when someone's sitting there being stone cold racist, and it's just like, well, you have to be kind to them. No, I don't. They're racist. What is wrong with you?
The way I'm posing this question is I had to look at it where I was lacking at. And one of the biggest things with me was my confidence. I didn't really have the confidence to go after the things that I really wanted. And I was just on autopilot a lot of the times. And that's one of the things Tony taught me is just, it's not really about anybody else. It's kind of about what you want. That is the thing that makes me best, is people around me that just have achieved things or how they move through life. Like I said, none of you two are just like, do this, Ash. It's always just kind of just watching and admiring how y'all move. Like, you teach me a lot about empathy. Like, sometimes I got to cool it with the whole fuck this, fuck that. It's like just having more compassion and seeing it from a different perspective. I've learned that from Charles. So I always have to be around people that I can learn from and I can look up to and respect to. If I don't see those things, I can't be the best possible version because there's nothing to obtain. There's nothing to go to the next level for. And it's not to say like, I'm not going to hang out with you if we're just not deep in all these other things or anything like that. I'll meet you at your level and we can just have fun. But where I grow to be my best self is people that I can look up to and be like, all right, well, when I quit my job, I was like, what would Tony do? And
Tony would have quit it a long time ago.
He was just putting it in. That really was the thing. Like, all right, I can do this.
It's just like, what would Tony do? I would have quit it 2 weeks ago.
Like, it would have been like...
The moment you started feeling like, I don't want to be here.
Yeah, like, it was December when I started feeling like that. And then April was the day, or March, for real. It was like, all right, I'm for real.
As far as Tony's concerned, you spent 5 months longer there than you should have.
Y'all know how Tony was. Tony was like, hey, I think I hate this. I'm quitting,
y'all.
We need to have a meeting. I'm going to quit my job.
Yeah.
So things might get a little tight for us, but I'm quitting. I'm not going to be there anymore.
Yeah.
I don't like this.
So things like that, like decisiveness and just moving forward. Like, I always thought best when I can just look at people and see their examples and get to that point. I've always been like very learnable. I'm always trying to learn. That's something I can never shake. And so that's what makes me the best person of me. I have to be able to learn from the people that I'm around. And everybody's learnable. I can learn from anybody. I can learn from the bitches that just want to have fun and learn, like, need to let go sometimes and just have some mindless ass fun. And I can learn from y'all.
From SZA and you can learn from Adele.
Yeah. I can do that.
I guess for me, the reason I guess I said it would allow you to be the best version of yourself is because personally, I'm always striving to be better.
Yeah.
Like, do I think that I'm inherently like a terrible person? No. But do I recognize that I have flaws? Yes. I'm also probably, out of the three of us, probably the most self-critical.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I recognize a lot and I'm like, all right, all of this has to change. Like, I'm constantly trying to work on something. And so for me, it's just like, I don't ever think that I've reached the pinnacle of being or existence. There's always something that I could be working on. And so I think that my best self is a self that's striving for something higher.
Yeah.
Not necessarily this self that is at this plateau or doing this specific thing, but the self that is working to be better. That's when I'm at my best self, when I'm actually doing the work. Because there's times when I'm not doing the work. Let me not lie. Like, Tony might be thinking about it and shit like that, but he's not really doing the work. And so it's like, you saying you want to be your best self, but right now you really just like chilling, or like the times when I know that I should be working out and shit like that because that's my personal goal, but I'm just choosing to like allow like my lethargy and shit like that to get in the way. That's me not being at my best self. So I know that my best self is me striving for more.
Yeah. No, I can agree with that.
I'm not necessarily at any particular place like you were saying, like, oh, I got to be able to run this, but just like working towards things. Like when I'm actually doing the work for shit, that's when I'm at my best self. And so I guess that's what I more so mean, where it's like, when do I feel like I'm actually doing the things that I need to be doing? Where it's not like a particular, like, oh, I need to be writing every single day and doing this. Am I trying to do shit? Am I working towards things? Am I actually putting genuine effort towards shit? If that's a yes, then the actual like relative goals that I put out there, and me sitting at a plateau to be like, I can run 4 miles in 25 minutes, which is actually kind of trash. I could run 4 miles in 22 minutes. That's actually really good because that's more than a 4K. A 5K, excuse me. But yeah, I could do that. That's kind of lording shit over people. That for what? It's about a 5-minute mile.
I feel like I got to give myself more credit because I feel like I'm not the same person that I was before. And I feel like I've grown a lot. And me sitting down and thinking about the person that I was to the person I've grown into now, I had to be just proud of myself. Like, I only had to tap my hand once to get some shit right. But I'm pretty proud of who I've become. I don't know if we give ourselves enough credit to say, well, damn, you know, who I was at 25 or 26, even 27, I'm not that same person. And I'm proud that I learned from those things.
Oh, yeah, I definitely got to take pride because the person that I was at, y'all know that I wanted to be a whole ass vagrant and just travel to random countries and do nothing for the rest of my life. So I'm much more pleased with the Tony that's like, all right, I want to be focus and work towards things and have real goals, because that Tony was like, fuck the world, I hate everything, people are really boring, I really don't want to do anything but fuck women, see the country, see the world, and not have any responsibilities. And so that was the way that I was trying. I was like, that's probably not the best Tony that I could be out here. It is a version of Tony that I could be.
We can be this, but is this what you really want? Yeah, is this what's calling for you? Yeah,
over your thing.
Yeah,
it's like, what are you? I'm hobo Tony.
Bruh, I was definitely about to be that because I was like, I make enough money just living as long as I don't get a car or anything. I won't have a car. I won't have car insurance. I won't have any of those other bills. So I'll have a cell phone bill. A satellite phone bill, and then I'll be just living in hostels and hotels and engaging with the local people and trying to learn different languages and engaging in different cultures, and that's it. That's all I plan to do for the rest of my life. It seems really dope, but it's also wildly
meaningless. Nothing. You're not contributing to shit.
You're gonna come back and be like, I can speak 53 different languages reasonably
but
well.
What does that serve in the greater purpose of things?
What can you do? What do you do now?
Especially if he just wanted to, I could see if he was like this, and then I want to teach the children of America how to speak Mandarin. No, he wasn't doing none of that.
No, I don't want to. I probably wasn't coming back.
I am all for adding things to the greater good, but I can also look at it like, no one really has to be satisfied with the quality of your life except for you.
Okay,
that is true.
But I wouldn't have been satisfied with that because
I
know
what
I knew what I really wanted, and I knew I was like, this is going to be you spending 6 months to a year in every single country that you live in. That's a decent amount of time. Mm-hmm. If I go, because I plan to go to Japan, so I'm going to spend at least a year in whatever city I live in, and then I might just move to another city and live there for a year because I want to be. I hate tourism. Tourism is trash. I don't like to go places on tour and do that.
That's how you end up at the Seattle Space Needle.
Yeah. My fucking God. Bruh.
It's like, there's so much better thing. It's like, at least you're not trying to take me to go see no goddamn gun wall. No, we about to go see this fucking gun wall too.
That shit look nasty. I'm not going to the gun wall.
That I'm not mad that my mother wanted to go see was the troll under the bridge. Mm-hmm. That was pretty cool. There's this giant troll sculpture under one of the bridges in Seattle. There's also a city up under Seattle.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I didn't care about seeing the city under Seattle.
Why would we want to go see this? That seems like that would have a real homeless problem.
Everybody that wants to go to Seattle wants to see the city under Seattle.
That seems like there will be a lot of homeless people.
I don't know what's down there. I've never gone. I tell them no. I'm not there. Y'all got me for the
that
space.
Sounds like
y'all got me for some of these, but they would get me for the Space Needle because that was something they were not coming off of. But I was also not going to this underground city.
That sounds like there's a serial killer down there or some type of monster.
I have no idea what's in this underground city, but technically the city of Seattle was built on top of it, and I don't understand that a whole lot. But it's also none of my business, so I don't go see it.
Oh,
I want to go see.
That sounds like a terribly useful narrative. No, it's
what? I
like
never heard that
if I
till
were to
today.
base something inside of Seattle, that sounds like a terribly useful thing to have there. Because it's like there are cities inside of America that continuously think I think Chicago's one of those, and now Seattle has like an undercity, and having an undercity is useful because narratively it's like, oh man, I can put some evil stuff down there and say it's just fine because they live in the undercity. It's just like, why is there a troll living in Seattle?
Yeah, so it says Seattle has a secret underground city that burned down in 1889.
Like silly.
The city was then rebuilt on top of the old ruins. There are still open to tourists today. No, I'm not going to the city that burned down that y'all built on. Why would I want to know?
It sounds like how you get ghosts, zombies, a plethora of things.
Seattle is built on a burnt town, but whatever, none of my business. But yeah, so no, I would always have to go there. But no, I don't never want to be a tourist. So I like living, and especially since I've moved around the country so much and been able to live different places and recognize the difference of, all right, you're visiting a place in which you get to see and experience versus I've lived here for a while, and the way that the people engage you, the way that they treat you after a while because you become a familiar face, how their friendliness works. Like in Seattle, there's a Seattle Freeze, so people really don't speak to you and shit like that. Mm-hmm. Everybody has their headphones on. But I would go to this gas station, not even this gas station, it was this like a little grocery store literally right across the street from my house. So I would go there every single day to get Swishers. Eventually, after time, like they started having conversation and everything, knowing what you're getting, stuff like that. You don't really got to show your ID. But it wasn't as friendly as it would be out here. But it was still more than what you would get if you were just some random face. But you wouldn't have got that. And I would have never known that, all right, their shells do break as well. And you can have engagement and have some type of discourse. It's not going to be a lot. You might throw one joke out there and that's going to be the end of the conversation. But you're going to be able to...
West level of conversation.
Oh, not at all. You're not going to get that at all. But you're going to be able to get some type of like human connection. But you're never going to know that if you don't live out there.
I imagine trying to date people out there is probably the most frustrating thing ever. It's just like, so how do you feel? I'm enjoying myself. They talked to me in like 30 minutes.
Bruh.
What are you doing?
It was dumb.
I'm just gonna start poking. Why are you poking me with a fork? Are you still alive?
If you like black women, being a black man, you'll do really well out there. So, a lot of the black men out there are only fucking with what they consider foreign women, shit like that. So they don't really give a lot of black women a lot of time of day. Yeah, and this is coming from black women, not from my mouth. This is what I was told.
I mean, it's not even like you could observe.
Yeah, no.
It's like, why aren't any of you?
Yeah, no, but no. Literally, when I got there and I was talking to black women and everything like that, they're like, we thought that was really weird that you were like into us because most black guys be out here looking for like foreign women. I was like, well, I'm from California, so seeing women that are exotic looking, I guess is what you want to call them, which I know just means that you came from like a different country.
The novelty is worn off a long time ago.
Definitely. I grew up, my best friend is Mexican. He has 2 sisters. The people I grew up next to was a Mexican family that had like 3 girls in that family, and I had crushes on all of them. So no, I've been through that phase. It was cool, but I'm here with my women. Come on. Come to me. So no, I did great because if you like black women and you're a black guy, you do really well. But
I wouldn't even understand going out there and just
so
like I don't know. I just wouldn't go out there and say I'm not gonna date black women here. If that's who I end up dating, that's who I end up dating. If I end up dating some Chinese girl out there,
I'm just letting you know that if you making it known for them, you're doing pretty well. So, but I don't want to do any cool thing. I like living at places, and so I would live everywhere for at least a year or so, just so I could experience things. And especially if I'm trying to learn a language, I need to be there for a while.
It's easier if you're immersed in it.
Yeah, and also why I want to live there, so I can start speaking Japanese or Chinese wherever I go. I'm gonna be able to just like eventually kind of communicate and understand what's going on. I don't even care about writing it or reading it, none of that. I just want to be able to like, as we're having a conversation, know what's going on. Things like that. But yeah, so that wasn't the best version of myself. So that's what I mean. I need to be working towards something because that Tony was working towards absolutely nothing.
Yeah, that autopilot shit. That's how I define all that shit between like 20 to 25. It was just autopilot.
As long as I'm not sitting there being melancholy, Charles, balled up in a ball in the bed, I'm fine. I feel like I'm making more forward progress than it.
That's weird as fuck. I don't see how you just be like, no, everything's okay. What? No, it's not.
Nah.
Oh no, it's not that I think it's okay. It's like I have to get the there's centrifugal force time where I have to get going. And it's just like I just can't get the energy to move forward. It's like there's too much mass for the amount of energy that I can actually exert.
Yeah, no, see, I need to stay in constant motion. Like that's what makes me feel like my best self. Like Ash tells me all the time, you can take a break. You don't have to work all the time. And I'm like, nah, but I do. And it's because that's just how I naturally feel fulfilled is when I'm working towards things, when I'm striving for more, I feel better. When I'm not doing anything, I'm thinking about the fact that, well, you ain't did shit. And so if I'm just going to sit there and beat myself up mentally about not doing anything, I'd rather actually be doing the things that I could be doing than sitting there thinking, well, hey, you could have did all of this. You ain't do nothing but bullshit and waste your time.
That was a mode before I started really working for myself. I did not understand. I'd take 2 hours for me to get out of bed in the morning. I will lay there and don't give a fuck. I'll sit there on my phone and just be like, well, Gus's. But then also, I cannot afford to do that anymore. And then now that I'm understanding of you a little bit better, you're like, there's something that needs to be done. Now, it's hard to turn that fucking shit off. But usually when I do, it's like, what helps me with that is I take inventory of what I did and be like, well, this is what you can give this situation. Go somewhere and chill out for a second. Because if I get overworked, I get crabby and I start getting headaches and shit. And that's not happening to me no more.
So that's the one thing that I do appreciate. I don't really deal with like burnout or overwork. Like, I don't ever that's why me going to Vegas had nothing to do with me needing a break.
Yeah.
That was just a good situation and a cheap ticket.
But also I had to realize I overworked myself in the spiritual sense too, where we had, I think it was about last year, me and a group of friends that I talked to on the spiritual tip was talking about how it's literally a 24-hour thing. Because when I go to sleep, I'm busy trying to decode my dreams. And then when I wake up, I have to meditate. I have to write now. It's like a 24. And then I feel bad when I'm not putting in that effort to that. So I understand where you're coming from, where it's I could be doing something else right now that contributes to my spiritual growth and it don't turn off. It don't. But then it was well, give yourself a pat on the back for how far you have come. Think about how lucky you are that you in this place where you get to have this introversion to challenge yourself.
I attempt to.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'll be like, all right, you've done this and this and this. And then the other voice be like, boy, where do you want to be?
Sometimes,
and I'd be like, you right.
Jordan Peterson was talking about that.
And I was like, let me just go ahead and stop trying to argue because you're right. And I know you're right because, yeah, I did this, but realistically, this ain't shit in the totality of what I want it to look like. So if I want it to look like that, am I going to be satisfied with this or am I going to go toward that? All right, well, let me go ahead and go towards that. So I always argue with myself and just be like, boy, if you don't stop talking to me about what you done did.
Yeah, Jordan Peterson was talking about that. He's talking about his new book. And he was like, I thrive on 16-hour work days or 12-hour work days. He was like, it's really something like that.
Yeah.
And then I had to put it in the spiritual perspective for me. I thrive on doing that shit all the time. If you tell me not to, it's it's this weird, I can't though. It's just something to me that's just always something to do in that area. So I understand that.
I'm only getting 8 hours of sleep.
Nah, for me, like they said, 16 hours. That's why I do the stocks. I'm trying to do so many. I'm always doing a lot because I need to be doing it. It makes me more productive. It makes me more efficient because as I'm doing it, I'm recognizing, all right, where's fat? Trim the fat, recycle, do this way. And it just makes me more efficient. It's just, I don't know. I don't like sleeping. But also, like I said, like
sleeping is wonderful.
So
boy,
I'll explain why I don't like
we
sleeping.
not sleeping right now.
I like. So if I can go to sleep where I don't feel myself drift off, then it's cool. But you ever fallen asleep where you feel like your body's shutting down, but your mind's still a little bit active and it's about to like go dark too?
Oh, I don't. I mean, yes, I've had this. I've lingered at an edge where it's like my body is definitely asleep, but brain, what you out here doing? I'm still listening. I'm still processing this whole audio.
Brain, what you out
It's
here doing?
like, how you out here still doing this?
And it's not even that. It's right there on the edge of sleep. Body is asleep. Brain is there, and it's also shutting itself down now, and everything is going dark. I hate that feeling. I don't like that feeling because I don't like the feeling of no longer being able to control my body. Because since my brain is active, I'm like, well, shit, move my hands, open my eyes. No, none of that shit do anything.
You don't fall so. Half the time I just fall stone asleep.
Oh yeah, so this nigga be falling asleep. I just be like, I'm tired.
Exactly. No, so sometimes I boom.
I mean,
just like
but you
y'all
also
just
take melatonin, so that means I feel like your experience with sleep might just be different from my experience with sleep.
Well, so most of the times I do just boom out like that.
Mhm.
But there's times where I'll be like laying down and I'm not necessarily trying to fall asleep and my body is just relaxing. It's like, all right, we're going to bed. And it's just like this slow decline. And then I recognize that, oh shit, I can't move any of my body. My brain is still active and I can't see anything and it's dark. And what the fuck is this?
That happens to me when I'm stressed.
Move. No. Sleep paralysis is when you wake up and your eyes are open, but none of your body moves. This is the opposite. I'm falling asleep and recognizing that, oh shit,
yeah,
I'm falling asleep. And
then
I
tilt your shit right back up. Oh, I hate that.
I force myself to say, oh no, we're going to move. It's like a whole, I have internal willpower battles with myself. Like, no.
I be trying to go to sleep, and then it'd be like,
open your eyes. We are not. We're not going into this darkness.
I'll be trying. I'll be so mad. I know what you're talking about. No, it's the opposite.
Get up now.
No, we're not doing that. It's the opposite.
I can will myself awake. I've never really like been just falling into that. Mm-hmm. I always will myself awake because I refuse, and then I don't go to sleep for a while because that shit does not make me happy. I
hate that shit. What the fuck is you talking about? My brain is trying to keep me the fuck awake. Nigga, I am sleepy. Everyone is against you right now. No. What are you talking about? Why don't you think about that random thing that you didn't think about?
No, my brain is awake and my body is tripping. Get up. Get your lazy ass up.
Fuck
right.
that. I hate that part.
Your goddamn eyes.
Want to be awake. I am trying to fight that bitch. Like, who are you? Where did you come from? We not cool no more. If I see you on the street, you getting jumped.
No,
nigga, I'm trying to go to bed and you over here talking about what I could have done with my life 10 years ago. Fuck you. How about that? No, I'm not doing that. That part I'm actively against.
Yeah, no. Sleep is trash.
Sleep is the most forwardest thing you can do with your day. Oh my God, let me get sleepy right now.
I'm getting sleepy right now.
Yeah, I see. Don't that sound good?
Before we go to your topic.
Come on, let's go to bed, everybody. Let's have a nap podcast. That's gonna be lit, ain't it, Charles?
No.
Y'all just go to sleep.
Tony don't be sitting here very upset. It's just like, y'all don't wake up.
You don't kick us out. Get the fuck up.
Get out of my house.
If y'all go nap. Y'all can at least go to Hell Hollow.
That is so funny, but also don't kick me, please.
Get out of my house right now.
Anyway,
both of you.
Since both of y'all like to fight.
Bucket. You ready to fight?
Yeah, I've got this book called The Warrior Within with Bruce Lee, and I thought it'd be cool to talk about what it means to be a warrior. I guess my first question would start off for two. When you do your jujitsu, did they teach you anything that's more, is it more like of a mental thing? Do they teach you like, for you, or that's for you personally, do you do it for self-defense, or is it more so like, I guess like how Bruce Lee was taught, his way of thinking was how it's more so in the mind than it is more so of a physical thing?
So yeah, Charles.
Did you guys know the glove compartment is not accurately named because no one keeps gloves in there?
I hate you.
I
hate
that's
you.
That's not the answer to her question.
I hate you.
Why do you hate me?
I hate you.
Why do you hate me?
Answer my fucking question, goddamn you.
Nigga said, "Did you know that?"
And he started it out, so like, oh, wait a minute.
Should it be like the file compartment? What do you want it to be called, Charles?
Your registration compartment, because that's where everyone keeps their car registration.
I mean, what is talking?
Oh my god!
Ha! It wasn't just me.
Look at Charles, so happy. I hate both of y'all.
It started out to be more of a physical thing,
Whoa,
became more of a mental thing, because as you begin to excel at something, it's once you're physically beginning, it's just the hokey pokey.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get past the beginning, it's all about application. Applications is all inside of your mind. So, yeah, I mean, I'm a pretty simple guy, and I just be out here like after I made it to green belt, and then when I made it to blue,
Mm-hmm.
like as you get further inside of things, it becomes more and more about teaching people as opposed to learning yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And that's actually a terrible hurdle for me because I can't teach people shit. Like that is a habitual weakness of mine.
I mean, I can't teach no one nothing.
It's like
they not learning nothing over
well, the problem more so is, have you ever heard someone who described something in sound effects? And it's just like, why don't you just go like swoosh? And you just look at them like,
what? Nigga, huh? Why don't you go like swoosh?
It's like artists describing sounds and colors and needing someone to be able to decode that shit. Excuse me, sir.
Oh my gosh.
No.
what color is that?
I want it to feel blue and orange. You want it to feel blue and orange? Yes. No.
Yes, and that's how sometimes I get caught up describing things. It's just like, you need to just go do this. What?
If you told me to go swoosh, I'd kick you. And then would ask you, is that right?
I mean, depending on what you did, it might be.
Exactly.
Nah, you gotta
It's just like, Jesse, chicken, watch out. See, you went like swoosh.
Alright, you gotta show me swoosh.
Oh, it's just like, I just can't always, because like the way I learned the art is I didn't learn the same way a lot of other people learned. I jumped all the way off the deep end, and most people went like once a week, maybe twice sometimes. I would go twice to like, I would go one day in the afternoon and I would spend like half a day the next day there. So it would be pretty much like, all right, I'm spending 12 hours or 15 hours a week doing karate.
So you turned it into a part-time job.
Right?
Because that's what I do. I don't know if you guys have figured this out about me, but when I jump off the deep end in something, I am all the way off the deep end.
Well, I support that.
So it's just like, oh, you want to learn karate? I got this goal. What? I need to catch up and stand. All right, what you about to do? Dude, I've been doing this for like 2 years longer than you do. Uh-huh. I'm
going to be here every single day.
The problem was Stan was there just as much as I was. So it was just like, we out here running. I'm running this race. And I'm trying to catch up to him, but it's just like, God damn it, why don't you just like not show up someday? I mean, you're basically doing the same thing I did. Let alone I look at everybody else who's around me. It's just like, so you don't care about the fact that you just dusted all of us? Y'all don't matter.
I was trying to catch Stan. My goal was set. Y'all are not the goal, but no.
What about you with boxing, right? Is it more so at that?
Lifting weights.
Lifting weights, anything. Anything where you have to engage in combat. Because I know you said your grandfather taught you how to do it. So I didn't know how seriously you took that.
Air Force close quarters combat.
Yeah, anything dealing with combat.
CQC.
So I've done boxing. I've done a little MMA training. I would say most of that has just been purely physical.
Mm-hmm.
I like to fight.
Yeah, MMA and CQC is not about the Warriors way.
I don't believe in that either.
What, you don't believe about you don't believe in the Warriors way?
What is the Warriors way, guys?
It's pretty much a thought process that is for the most part adapted from the art of war.
Mm-hmm.
But you believe in the art of war, which is very odd.
Yes, explain.
I don't believe in anything that is restrictive about the warrior way. All of the means to destroy, but the morality aspect of it, I don't engage in.
What? How you just subbies you? See,
example.
This is your only childisms. Not beating up on people who are weaker than you are.
So you don't believe in that?
It's just like,
yeah.
That's fucked up.
it's just like
the only thing I can get behind is not hitting women and children. Outside of that, though, just if you happen to be weaker than me, but you were running your mouth and I gave you the warning, stop fucking talking to me.
It's not even really about the warning. It's also understanding like certain things about escalation of force. Understanding is just
like I don't have to take it there, but I'm going to.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I don't believe in the warrior way, but I do wholly subscribe to the art of war, because the art of war, while the warrior way is derivative of the art of war is about wholly crushing your enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the warrior's way added it's like the difference between being a samurai. It's like the art of war is definitely entrenched in being a samurai, but there's some also morality things that are part of being a samurai that are not. He would look at them and be like, "What's wrong with y'all? Why y'all out here adding? Life is hard enough as it is. Why you adding all these restricting?"
It's like a samurai to a ninja.
Mm-hmm.
They're both going to use tactics, techniques, and things like that, and they might follow along some of the similar lines. But where the samurai's like, "Nah, we don't do this. This is not how we conduct battle." The ninja's like, "This is how we get this objective completed. Bet. Let's go ahead and do that."
Another example of a warrior creed is like chivalry, which a lot of people don't understand about chivalry, because it's like
a lot of chivalry has
to do with the conduct of knights.
Yeah, it has way more. Chivalry is about knights behaving themselves and not raping women.
Depending upon the circumstances.
No, dead ass, because knights were really like repressed and like sexually, well, I don't know if repressed is the correct word. Knights had a lot of power, but also a lot of aggression.
They were lords.
Yeah, they were lords and a lot of aggression. And so the way that they conducted themselves with women was very aggressive and abusive. So that's where chivalry came in. It's a way to give them a way to conduct themselves that still like
abided their class
and fed into their ego still.
It's like big chivalrous. It's like that. And there's a lot of like, okay, when you would drink wine as opposed to when you would drink spirits, as opposed to when you would drink tea and so on and so forth, what you offer someone, it's a lot of the things. It became a code for men to kind of figure out some of the things that women inherently just kind of knew about social cues.
Yeah.
Because them niggas weren't good at social cues at all. It's just like...
Or behaving themselves.
It's just like, that's what did you just give me milk? About, I would have stabbed you in the throat.
Yeah, so like this whole, this is what chivalry is now today, opening doors and just being generally nice has nothing to do with what chivalry was created for.
Okay.
It was because knights were out here
it was like, we need some rules.
Doing the most.
And like the class just kind of developed some rules to police themselves and being unchivalrous. And then the code of chivalry kind of started weaving into what a knight was. And then if you were unchivalrous, you could lose, quote unquote, lose your knighthood.
Yeah. So
even though they were definitely still out there raping women in time. If you were invading someplace else, rape completely and totally okay.
Yeah, but in your society, you couldn't just like be aggressive to women. Like you still had to be like, treat them differently.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's where chivalry and shit like that came from, which I don't know how we got on this. Oh, we're talking about fighting.
Warriors Creeds.
Warriors Creeds. I was like, how did we get to chivalry? But yeah, so that was another Warriors Creeds is chivalry that people are really familiar with, but also have no idea what it's really about.
Okay.
It's like...
But again, that chivalry in this context today, I'm cool with. I guess chivalry in this context before I agree with, because, I mean, I'm not violent towards women, but I don't care about any of the other, like
maim rather than cripple rather than kill, the escalation of force thing, hurt rather than maim rather than cripple rather than kill is kind of a fundamental tenet of a lot of martial arts, because you don't want to use more force than is necessary to restrain someone. And
what the art of war is crushed completely.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with today's society is
crushing completely is looked down upon.
That's
But generally,
for the most part,
crush
it's literally
completely.
It's like crush completely will be someone comes in here, or someone walks up and says, "I'm gonna punch you in the face," and then you just shoot them 3 times in the face. It's just like
the theory is enemy left to don't hunt what you can't kill.
Mm-hmm.
If you you go hunting for a bear and you can't kill that bear is liable now to kill you. So you don't hunt what you can't kill. So
that's why you said
a general rule is also you don't leave people to come back and now become your hunter. You just leaving enemies around when you just leave shit out like that, like they do. So, but in the business world, you can see people crush completely in terms of
you destroy their entire business. They have no market share. They're poor and on the street.
Facebook works very big on the crush completely theory. How they adapt and take any social media's idea way of doing things. Like how they basically co-opted Snapchat.
No one really uses Facebook stories like that.
They use Instagram.
Yeah.
Instagram is owned by fucking.
Yeah, I understand.
So it's the same thing. And so that's what all they did was turn Instagram into more polished Snapchat. Twitter, Jack Dorsey conducts it like Twitter is going to have a Clubhouse feature. So do you think all the people that are on Twitter are going to now leave Twitter to go to Clubhouse, or where they can get to just talk, or where they can now just be where they can tweet and talk?
Well, with the nature of influencers, it is easier to do it when you already have a large imprint. So most people already have a large Twitter. So running a Clubhouse on Twitter will probably attract more people, which will give you more money.
Yep. And so that's how businesses operate on the art of war and crush completely.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but that's also how I operate, where the war code leaves. We're like, oh no, they did a little smacky smack, and so you give them a little smacky smack. No, you threw a rock at me, I'm gonna blow your whole shit up, so you never do it again, ever again. And everybody else that looks around be like, damn, that rock to bomb escalation was crazy. Let's leave him alone. Yeah. So but working out has like lifting weights. That's a very mental thing for me. I do a lot of thinking. Then,
at least to me it is. I don't know why. It was just like lift heavy thing. All I'm doing is counting and lifting.
Yeah, I mean, I'm counting, I'm lifting, but I'm also fully focused on like which muscles are being engaged. Like, I do a lot of I enjoy free lifting. I don't like working on stabilizing machines. It doesn't allow your smaller complementary muscles to get anything, because it's just solely targeted on this one area. So you don't have to compensate with balance and things like that for the real world. So I can feel all of that. So I like to be able to feel my body fully engaged. I like the progress. I like the mental thought process I go through of preparing workouts and all right, I'm gonna eat better, or just the whole mental shift that I have when I'm lifting and things like that versus the times when I'm not lifting. So it's a much more mental endeavor, because I can get the physical, just like I've said, but that isn't really what drives me in that aspect. It's more of a mental stimulus for me. Also, I do a lot of thinking while I'm lifting weights and running and things like that. So it also helps me be pretty clear mind. No one really bothers you while you're working out. So it's a time where I can
unless you're a woman. I feel so sorry for women when they're working out at the gym, and they just be like, hey yo, what you out here doing?
Yeah, that would be horrid.
So I've seen somebody take this woman's headphone off to talk to her, so what you doing? It's just
what?
It's just I literally had to stop and say, what are you doing? That's a giant violation. I could only laugh, but it wasn't really funny, because it's just I don't know if you look at her face. She is terrified right now. Because she had no idea that you were there because you were talking to somebody with noise canceling headphones on.
That's fucked up.
You didn't even tap her on the shoulder. You didn't do anything to actually attempt to get this woman's attention. You could have walked in front of her, waved your hands. No, you wanted this immediate satisfaction.
Why do you feel like you have the agency?
Yeah,
that was the wild thing.
That shit is crazy.
It's just like, so, and I'm looking around like the women thought it was wild and the dudes were just kind of like, so like no one else is going, but no one with any kind of power to necessarily stop this is paying attention to this.
Oh my God.
Because like, what you gonna say? What are you gonna, like a woman says, that's not cool. Girl, go back to her, shut up. So.
Somebody coming up to me. I'm in the
girl,
library.
You got a fat old ass. It's just like, what?
You know, like that's like you coming up in the library. I'm trying to think how I relate to this in my life. If I'm sitting at the library reading a book and somebody just come up and just pull my headphones off. Like, what you read? What you doing? Who are you?
That's quintessential.
Why are you touching me? Look at the fuck.
Yeah, no.
That's fucking hilarious, but also mildly creepy.
It's just like,
I like fighting because I think it's more like a physical chess match.
Mm-hmm.
It is a physical chess match.
Even when like I like also fighting people that are bigger than me. That's
all small people.
If I can do a decent job and fare well in a situation where a fighter is proficient and also significantly heavier than me, niggas my weight don't really have too much of a chance.
Yeah, you have to be careful about the thing about like that I always deal with is I am always trying to fight one that's about my same size because I can get stuck into fighting small people. And when you get stuck fighting small people a lot, you just assume that you always have a reach advantage, and that's how you end up getting kicked or hit.
See, and that's why I like fighting. I like to know that, all right, you might have longer arms than me. I might need to get in closer. I might need to be able to take a punch from somebody that has a lot more power than me. Like, just things like that. Also, it's just like, for me, it's more of a mental chess match when I'm sparring. Like, it's all right, how do you counter this? How do you get out of this? Like, me and Chris do a lot of that, and I have a much better like stand-up game than Chris does. But once we're on the ground, he's much more technically sound in terms of wrestling. I'm good at defending myself. And like at one point I could muscle out of certain things. Like Stan put me in an arm bar. He couldn't get it all the way locked in. It was extended, but I had enough power to just grab him and lift him and myself all the way up and slam him on the ground with my arm. So I've overpowered instead of technically getting out of it in skilled ways like that, which my arm was sore for like a week because it's hyper.
You just lifted the entire arm. Like,
yeah,
the cost benefit of that is just like I slammed him on his back. It's just like you slammed him on the largest surface area that's on the entire body. So that was all displaced more than likely.
Yeah.
So it's just like I am taught to fall directly on my back.
What I needed to do wasn't to do damage. It was to
get my arm out of here. That's terrible.
And that's what I did. I jostled him enough that my arm is now slipped, and now you got to stand back up and fight me on your 2 feet.
I don't like being down there.
Yeah, no.
I mean,
I recognize that's where my weaker game is at. Is on the ground. I recognize my stand-up game is pretty solid. I have really good reflexes, so like me getting out of the way of being hit is really good. I also can take a punch. Like I've been hit dead in my face and knock my head back, and I'm ready to fight. The only time I've ever kind of like blacked out a little bit and like legs buckled and a quick like recatching myself is when I was fighting this dude Larry. I was 18 and we wasn't really fighting. Because I want to preface that because where I'm going to say this happened at was at Home Depot in the break room. And he was my manager. Larry's about a good 350. Big Hulk. He used to play football. Big, just hulking ass nigga. 350, about 6'2", 6'3". Just a big round. So he took his whole fist, bong on the top of my head.
cartoon shit.
I understand because I was good at getting in close. Once I get in close, I'm really good at targeting your kidneys. And that's where I'm going to hit you. I'm going to get in close and hit you right in the body, right in your kidneys. Because I'm trying to drop you. You're not going to know that you're about to drop from this body shot. But you're going to hit the ground and you're going to be real confused. He wouldn't drop, but he could feel it. And it did not feel good. So I got in there and gave him a couple.
So he got you with the spike from Tom and Jerry?
Yeah. So I got in close, gave him a couple of those, and he just bombed right on the top of my head.
Damn.
All I know is my legs were like that. I lost vision for a second. I had to catch myself. He's like, oh shit, you all right? You know he also my manager, and we probably shouldn't be fighting in the break room, and you bombed me on the top of my head, and I black out for a second. That also should not be the thing that's happening right now. But I love, that is my nigga right to this day. Like, if anybody ever needed a job, like if y'all was out your ass, y'all needed a job at Home Depot, I can call him and y'all gonna have a job. Like, he gonna make sure that my people good. Like, I love that man.
Might only be 25 hours a week, but you gonna have a job.
Yeah, you gonna get a job and he gonna try and get you more hours and ask you to stay late if you can. Like, he gonna do as much as he can for you because he got a lot of pull in that building. And that's how I had a lot of pull because of that man right there. But no, we were also fighting in the break room, and that's the only time I've ever kind of blacked out. But if you're not full force with like and a giant hitting me on the top of my head, I'm all right. Like, bigger niggas have hit me in the face, and it's like, oh, okay, so you
hitting people in the face is a terrible. Well, one, hitting anyone in the face with your fist is terrible because one, the more likelihood that you're going to actually break the extraneous parts of your like. I'm only have a fist.
Jaw is what you
it's like you used to hit him like right on the button. There they go. Right there, right there, right there. All of this stuff.
Oh no. What he did was open my car door and hit me twice. Yeah. I was sitting when I got hit. I should have been slumped. What I did was hop out the car because now fuck it, it's on. But yeah, no. So I've been hit in the face on some crazy situations where it's like, oh, all right, well. So I know my jaw is in glass. So other than that, I enjoy the thrill, the mental challenge it is as well, because you can't lose sight of what's going on. Because that's what happens to a lot of people when they're sparring or fighting. They just aren't thinking anymore. Mm-hmm. And if you're not at the point where you cannot think and just react and have the actual skills to like do that, that's not where you need to be. You need to be like figuring out, all right, how do I get out of this? What is he going to be doing? And kind of still need a certain level of like
awareness
and not losing yourself. Like, I have really good reactions. Like, I'm not going to get hit in the face or kicked or anything like that as long as I'm not.
Well, you don't tunnel in.
Yeah, as long as I don't tunnel in and lose sight of like my awareness, I can react to like most things really, really quickly. I have really good balance, so I'm not going to like overexert myself or things like that. It just like tumble over. Don't trip over my feet too much, but always got to remember, all right, I got to keep a good focus, because sometimes I can get into berserker Tony, and that Tony just enjoys the thrill of the fight. And then it's like, fuck everything else. You're going to take some damage. We're going to be in here, and we're just going to go.
Yeah, that part of me doesn't really exist. That's
it exists in my ass.
Thanks to karate, it's pretty much all been tamped out. And it's just like, what do you got to do? You always pay attention. I for the most part, the biggest goal is pay attention, and for the most part, you have the muscle memory to react to basically anything.
I guess it's not. I don't try to, but it's not even like I get too overwhelmed. It's like I'm enjoying myself too much.
Mm-hmm. Like, there is one time I have fought a small person where it was annoying, where she got to the point where she was inside of my guard. But even at that point, it was just like, it was a fugue state, and I wouldn't say it was like a berserker thing. It was pretty much, because she was black belt, I think I was a blue or purple belt at that point in time, and it pretty much came down to, I am still very capable of using my knees and my elbows, which is something that most people don't understand, that for the most part, that once someone gets close to you, you convert to knees and elbows, and you go away from hands and kicks. Unless you're like really good with one of those things. But unless you're throwing hooks, uppers, or stuff like that, you can't throw any straights. You can't really extend the jab when someone's really close to you. So you go in tight and you throw upwards elbows, laterals and hooks, stuff like that, all with your elbows and knees. But nothing really bad happened for me. But like, I haven't actually had the chance to physically fight someone since I don't really count sparring as fighting. So,
well, I guess
since I started karate,
I count sparring as fighting, I guess, because it's the closest thing that I've really done in a while. Like, I don't really street fight. That's not really a thing. Like, I'm grown. There's not too many instances that have called for me.
If I get into an actual street fight, that person probably is not. I don't know what would actually happen in an actual street fight
but I just don't even think that it's like a high likelihood of getting into one. Like,
it's like I'm at home too much for that to happen.
Not even that I'm at home. Like, even when I'm out and about, like,
it's a good question, actually.
It's either that or it's like most of the situations where like I've been like with women and niggas that say something, and as long as you don't like cower and you return in kind or respond in kind, or like, oh, she got a fat ass. Yeah, I know, that's me. Niggas is just moving on. Like, I'm not like, unless you come and like you gonna like doggedly hound us and try and be disrespectful, a quick slick comment is not gonna like make me want to fight you in the middle of the street. That don't make no sense.
Has that ever been you at one point or nah?
Nah, niggas used to try me a lot in California.
Mm-hmm.
But when I moved here, not so much. Like, I didn't get into any real fights or anything like that. Like, niggas say slick shit, but when you respond, most of them just, like, aren't really looking for a fight. And they looking to, like, talk shit with their niggas and shit like that. They're not really looking to, like, try and fight you. So I've never really, like, had that situation. I've never been, like, the hothead immediately if you say something. But in California, I guess I was younger also, but there was a lot of like, there's a lot of wanting to fight me.
Mm-hmm.
Tony was a lot worse in California, but I'm also going to acknowledge that Tony was completely with the shits when I was out there and wasn't looking to de-escalate or walk away from any situation or ignore what anybody had to say. Like, you say anything to me and you could probably catch these hands because you should watch your mouth. Which, I mean, I still feel like that today. But it's just the cost benefit analysis of it today. It's like, I got shit to do. Now, if you ever catch me on the time where I don't feel like that, you might catch that old Tony that's like, well, fuck it then. We can take things there because that's clearly where you wanted to go. Because you shouldn't have spoke to me for real. But more so now, I'm a lot more reserved in how violent I respond. But people don't challenge me as much out here. But I also was like gang affiliated and doing a lot of like extracurricular shit in California that didn't follow me out
extracurricular
here.
Like it was on the fucking agenda at school.
I mean,
after basketball,
for the most part, I exist inside of a way that is just like, it's very much of a look, don't touch type of atmosphere. As long as you don't cross any particular line of like placing your hands on whoever I'm with, then like you can say shit, but it's not.
Like, I've had niggas like...
Most women just have thick enough skin to the point where they're used to that much. So it's like, it's not really a problem for them, and it's not really a problem for me.
I did run into that. I ran into a woman that wanted me to fight. She's like, you didn't fight him. I responded to him. I said something. It wasn't like he just said something and...
Well, at that point, I was no exchange. To say, I don't know who you think I am, but I'm just...
I said something. She was like, y'all didn't fight. And why would I have?
Are you gonna go out there?
He was disrespectful, and I checked him, and that was the end of it. And if he responded with more disrespect, then yeah, there's something to talk about here. But I'm not just instantly about to fight. And two, you are not even the one that we get that reaction from me, madam. You're lucky I defended your honor because you just not gonna. And I more so looked at it as like me defending myself because you're not gonna disrespect me like I'm the whole nigga.
Mm-hmm.
Had nothing to do with you, sweetheart. But me out here fighting for you is also not about to be the thing because it's not what I do. But no, I haven't really fought No, someone spit on me. I fought them immediately.
Oh, I absolutely see that is a
These are all in my California
law.
lives when it was in the gang. I was like I said, I've been, and they didn't even spit on like they didn't touch skin. They spit on my jacket, but I was wearing the jacket at the time.
Still against the law.
Yep. And so I took that jacket off, balled it. I was like, hey, you hold this, and I immediately went to chase them down because they spit on me and ran. That's what they did. The bitch spit and then immediately looked in my face and ran away.
You gonna spit and run?
Yeah, that's literally dead ass. We were
had time to look at you in the face.
It was in a gym, so we was getting ready to go, but all of our shit is outside, so we was outside on the basketball court. There's this little gated area, so we all waiting by the gate for the bell to ring so we can go to our next class. He's standing in front of me, turn around, look at me, spit on my jacket, look me in the face, and then runs away.
It's just like
I was stunned because I was like, "This nigga just spit on me." Granted,
look at me.
I know me and this nigga got issue.
Face.
All right, bet you spit on me. So I just took the jacket off kindly, balled it up, handed it to my friend because I didn't want him to get no spit on them because that's disgusting. Hold this. Because I'm also not wearing a spitty jacket because that's weird, but I don't want to lose this either. So you hold this. I'll be back.
Go be somebody else.
And then I immediately took off after his ass. Yeah, no, did you just got me?
It's just like I'm flabbergasted. What are you doing?
But me and him had issues the entire time we were in school. I've given him a black eye, bloody nose, and busted lip. He ran my head into a wall. Like we were walking out of class, and it was like the side of a like wooden paneling and everything, and I walked in front of him, and so he just slammed my head right into the wall. So that's when I turned around and started punching him in the face. All right, well, I guess this is where we're at now. So no, Tony used to be with the shits, but Tony was also in an environment that called for me to be a much more aggressive version of myself. Because when you weren't, you were like the sheep to be picked on. And Tony definitely wasn't a sheep. I was a wolf. Y'all about to be out. But that's also why I came to like Shaker on like some bully shit, because the environment that I came from before is you establish yourself, you set up dominance, and you let niggas know.
It was very odd because it's like I set up all these lines. Why aren't anybody respecting my lines? It's like, it's not like that here. Oh,
everybody was just so chilled. Everybody was just so relaxed. Like, we can fight. Like, I was like, everybody, I will fight you for it. We can go fight. Like, I attacked Marcus on the front line. I choked out Zeke. I was with the shits immediately. My first two friends were two giant ass 6'5" niggas that were on the basketball team. James and this white boy that he found.
He found?
Yeah, I didn't know who the white boy was, but they were on basketball, so that's how they became friends. But there was the two niggas. So it was me, the short nigga, in the middle of these two giant people. That's how I always rolled around. But I was the one that was immediately going to hit you. I don't need them to back me up. It's fine. I got this.
Oh, that's always the tiny dude.
I'm going to put my hands on you.
It's like...
And so, yeah, now Tony came to that school with the intention, I don't put my hands on y'all.
But nobody was really trying to fight anybody back.
And yeah, no one really want the smoke and everything. Everybody was like, at first I was like, all right, well, this is real pussy. Well, and then I recognized, all right, everybody's just pretty cool. These are some pretty good people. All right, well.
I don't have to be hyper aggressive anymore.
I mean, if my previous environment, it's all gang. All the areas that are like, generally like the nicer areas to sit around and like be at in the quad area outside of our school are all gang controlled. And also with one of my gangs, we control one of the nicer areas. We had the vending machines and everything like that. You had to go to, if you want to go to the vending machines, you had to come past us and get harassed and us talking shit to you. So yeah, no, I recognize that where I came from was a much more segregated and rough environment. Why
do you talk shit about people who just trying to go get a snack?
Cause fuck, why are you over here?
Because I'm trying to get a snack.
Go
Snacks.
All right, well, get your fucking snack then. Hurry up. But you talked to me. We were saying shit. You could have ignored us, but you decided to respond. Now we're engaged in this conversation. Now I'm irritated. And it's a lot of more of us than it's your one little ass. So you're probably not going to do a whole lot of shit talking to us. Because there's at least 15 to 20 of us over there every day.
Why are you 15, 20 deep by a snack machine? Why don't y'all just go
because
home?
There's benches over there. And that's where we spend our time. A lot of the time, that's where we spent most. That was our area. Like, that was control right there. And then right next to it was the handball court. That's where the Mongs would be at. We didn't really fuck with the Mongs, but it wasn't like a big serious feud because they had a bigger issue with the Asian Crips. The Asian Crips, though, were aligned with us. So, I mean, me being the most rambunctious of the groups, I would always go over to the handball court and yell some really
wow.
wild things that are very problematic in today's era. So I won't repeat them on my.
They were problematic then too.
Right. It didn't transform, but.
So I will not say what I said.
A lot of people don't necessarily understand it. I think the Hmongs are a subsection of Vietnamese. They came over here and they were forced to leave when Vietnam, after the war in Vietnam. I do believe something like that.
They're not big fans. Rail. The Chinese people and Japanese aren't big fans of them.
I mean, most people. There's so much beef going around the Asian Peninsula as well.
Yeah, so
nobody likes anybody.
I'm not going to get into specifics, but just know that I wasn't riding with they clique, and my clique was for sure. They love the fact that I would do that to them too. They're like, because every once in a while they're like, Tom, go let them know. I'm like, big bad. I'm over here. I'm with the shits instantly, but they always have my back. Like it was always just crazy shit. Like one time, one of their little cousins got beat up in the back in the locker room. Well, he didn't get beat up in the locker room. He got beat up in the gym. So his older cousin, who was gang affiliated, and he was like the top because he had like a shadow. And what I mean by that is he had some nigga that followed him around that was basically his bodyguard. Took all the classes he took. They spent the entire time. They would just walk together. He just walked behind them. Not really talk a lot. Just a bigger, stocky Asian dude. It was really interesting to see that inside of my middle school years. But yeah, they cleared out the locker room and beat the fuck out of the boy that beat his cousin up. That was an interesting time. But there was no one.
It was a fair. I don't
know if it was fair because we weren't there to see. We don't know what happened in that.
Well, I'm not talking about the gang thing. I'm talking about more about the if the cousin was decided to try and fight somebody and then they fought back. Then it's just like, what you gonna do?
Don't touch him. And realistically, he wasn't the type of cousin to fight. The one that got beat up, he wasn't affiliated.
Oh,
he was affiliated by blood because he's related, but like being active, like how we were all.
Oh wait,
active,
it was a gang member who decided to attack his cousin.
We don't know. I don't know who the other.
It's just like I wasn't in on it.
Yeah, like that was all I know is like because I was friends with the two brothers. Those are my niggas, Alvin, and I can't say that name, but Alvin. Me and Alvin was cool. Him and Kevin had the older cousin. The older cousin, and there's a dude named Tam. Tam was like the nerdy. What's some more? He had just came to the country, or his family was like a first generation, so he didn't like have a full grasp of everything. So his cousins looked out for him. He got beat up. They didn't like that. Their cousin beat the fuck out of dude. I don't know if he was talking shit because he may have, because he also knew that he had his cousins backing him up, so he was kind of free at the mouth. So I don't know why, but I know how it resulted. But yeah, so that's the environment I grew up in. So when I came out here and that wasn't how it was, I was like, well, this is interesting. And then y'all were cool, and we played Yu-Gi-Oh! Because what's crazy shit is I would do all that gang shit and then walk home and then sit outside with my friend that lived right down the street from my high school, and we would play Yu-Gi-Oh! Because I had my deck with me. All my friends, all the gang members knew I played. Like, it wasn't like a secret. It was just a very interesting time for me where I was like,
I exist in all the spheres.
Yeah. Tony was a big believer in Tony is a big believer in duality, and that was a very big portion because I was like in the honor classes and doing MESA, which is math, aeronautics, engineering, and science. And so I was building like little like rubber cars and shit that work off rubber band engines and shit like that. But I was also gang, but I was playing Yu-Gi-Oh! So I was a very nerdy gang affiliated kid. It was interesting. And then y'all were out here not doing nothing gang and just playing the Yu-Gi-Ohs and shit like that. And I was like, well, I like y'all.
The gang thing out here, so
definitely.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Thing.
Yeah, I wasn't doing the gang thing out here. I was just trying to assert my own personal dominance and let y'all know what it was. But that didn't seem to be necessary. So yeah, it was a good time. But just fighting in general for me is enjoyable. But that's also why I don't just fight excessive like out of anger anymore. Because I recognize there was a point in time where Tony had the shortest of fuse. And you say something and fists are coming, and I hope you're ready to defend yourself because this is a full-on assault. It's not just going to be one fist. I never believed in hitting someone and then looking at them to see how they react. I'm hitting you and I'm following it up with more fists. And as many of them as I can fit in before you can defend yourself. Hopefully you fall over.
I don't know. I have not fought someone in God knows how long, so I don't have to worry about it. It'll be a real interesting occurrence if it does happen.
Now, if someone walks up and hits me, then all bets are off.
I'm never allowing anyone to get close enough to just hit me.
I mean, you don't never know.
Oh no, that's the thing. I do know. I generally have a reasonable expectation about who's around me in about a 300.
Well, I guess angle. If you walk into a bar and then some random dude just smacks you.
Walk into a bar. First thing you do when you walk into a bar is you check your left, check your right, and check all the blinds.
Yeah, but if you're over there ordering your drink and someone just is coming to the bar.
Don't put my back is to the bar. Now, if the bartender decides to smack me upside the head with the bottle,
but if you're talking, like literally ordering the drink, you can't have your back to the bar and speaking to the bartender. That's not gonna work.
It's like I've done very odd things inside of my life.
I've been to the bar with you, Charles. I've never seen you. Hey.
But if I'm with multiple people, yes, that's a different situation.
Weird.
Yeah, I'm not saying that you're by yourself, but
if I'm not by myself, I'm assuming that you're looking out for my back. Exactly. I don't think you're just gonna let me someone.
Oh, exactly. But I'm saying that there are situations where your guard is lower because you have friends around, things like that. But if we just so happen to miss the shit too, you could get slipped.
I will be very upset.
Hey, I get if you mad because we let someone hit you. I would be the one mad too if all my friends are around and someone gets close enough to just start smacking on me, and none of y'all were able to stop him before this happened, and y'all see that I'm not paying attention. What are y'all doing? But just talking to bitches and doing all kinds of functions, so I recognize that it could happen. So in the event that it happened, I would just think that that'd be the only time that I would fight. It's like someone just walks up and like puts their hands on me, or they put their hands on someone that I care about. And you can't just attack. Like if someone just hit Charles with a bat,
it's like, well, guess we fight then.
Yeah, like I gotta attack you. Like, what are you doing? You're not just about to beat my homie, or like y'all can't. So you can't put hands on people that I care
swear
about.
to God, if someone.
But I also don't subscribe to like that. Oh, we got to shoot the fair one. It's 1-on-1. No, Tony will jump. I am a king. I'll jump you.
I mean, I'm not really terrified of anybody.
I will get me all my niggas, and we gonna put hands and feet on you. I'm gonna jump you.
Oh, that's that gang
affiliated. That's what I prefer. I'm going to jump you. Yeah,
that's that gang affiliated part of you. It's just like we about to do that fair fisticuffs.
No, we're not.
30 seconds in, it looks like he might lose this. Jump him.
Yep. And so we don't even give you that opportunity. We about to pack your ass out. Pause. No homo. Like, you about to get this work for real. So yeah, no. I've called people like, hey, I need you. You gonna be in this bush. We about to hop out. We about to jump you. I'm not playing with you. I don't even really want to fight you at all anymore. Unless like it's something that you've done to me personally where I'm mad like that. Then you might catch me where
what you're saying is if you were jumping me and y'all were kicking me and I took someone's shoe off and I threw it at you and I hit you in the face with the shoe, you would be upset.
Yeah.
It's just like, because it's just like, what are you trying to do? Well, the first thing you do is someone is kicking you on the ground, you take one of their feet. Also, you want to pull one of them down to the ground with you. Because the funny thing that you could do is you could actually probably angle somebody, so that means your friend is probably getting more so kicked than I am.
Oh, no, we're stopping.